mana tiếp theo cũng không còn Akali luôn. Chúng ta đã có hai vị tướng rất mạnh ở khu vực giữa hiện tại, thể hiện với hai lối chơi riêng biệt, nhưng đều đã được chứng minh với cái khả năng sử dụng của anh ta không còn có thể xuất hiện ở trong ván đấu đầu tiên này sau hai lượt cấm vừa rồi của Deep Cross Gaming.
Phải nói là tỷ lệ thắng 100% với con bài Akali. Nó thực sự là ấn tượng đến từ Dio, nên chắc chắn rồi. Ván thi đấu đầu tiên này, thậm chí là ván 2, không ai cho nhà dành cho Dio đâu. Ban Chase đến từ bên phía của Sequels. Ở trong cái phiên bản cập nhật 26.2 này thì con Chase nó bị nớp cái quy của mình.
We are live.
Giảm sát thương vào quái rừng.
Dude, my schedule is so unbelievably turbo dog shit this year. Holy shit.
Còn đó là Galio, Nico, quyết định là ban Nico đến từ Deep Cross Gaming. Thì để xem
Alright, why is Twitch stream manager failing me? What's going on?
Có muốn lấy không đây? Nhưng không, Rise sẽ là vị tướng đường giữa dành cho Dio.
TSW đã dành một quyền ưu tiên cho Dio sau khi mà Deep Cross Gaming đã ban mất hai lượt lựa chọn.
Oh no. Oh man, what do you mean we missed the 2v2? Ah, what a shame. What a shame. Maybe next time. Maybe next time, man.
Asia và Javan. Và chúng ta đang có một cái thông số rất là đẹp với đó là Javan nha. Khi mà đạt tỷ lệ thắng là 100%, 3 trận đấu, 3 chiến thắng dành cho Javan. Trong đó thì như là có 2 trận là của Dakar rồi. Còn với Skipwell, họ lấy cho mình đó là Wukong ở vị trí đi đường. Một con bài mà được hot pick ở trong mùa giải này với 7 lần pick và 5 chiến thắng. Và đây cũng là một trong số những con bài mà Hito đang đạt tỷ lệ thắng 100% ở mùa giải năm nay. Thế nên ở trong trận đấu này sẽ có một người không còn tỷ lệ thắng 100% nữa. Và lựa chọn tiếp theo.
Somebody over on YouTube saying, I spent so long defending Guma, I can't anymore. Has he really been that bad? I have not seen HLE's most recent games. Wait, they didn't even play yesterday. Was their win against Bro that bad? I mean, I actually did see their series against Bro.
Dành cho Deep Cross Gaming, họ đang muốn nhắm vào người chơi xạ thủ của đối phương là SD. Đừng quên là SD là người chơi mà có cái phần trăm gây sát thương nhiều nhất ở trong Secret Wales. Thế nên là cái việc mà bích xạ thủ trước ban sạch.
Don't worry. HLE will find a way to randomly be top 3 by the time it matters.
Còn đó là Kaiza. Kaiza cũng là một trong số những vị tướng mà SD cũng đạt tỷ lệ thắng 100%.
We've got the Rise Wukong. I don't remember Dyer being a Rise guy.
Thì còn đó là Zik nếu như họ muốn đánh theo kiểu là của MBK, nhưng không, quyết định là Kaiza đầu tiên rồi.
Chúng ta còn có rất là nhiều những vị tướng đi đường mạnh ở trong người ta hiện tại, chúng ta cũng thấy là có sự quay trở lại của Aphelios, đúng không ạ? Hay là những vị tướng có khả năng chơi đam tốt.
The Deep Cross first 3 actually seems pretty not great, if I'm being honest.
Còn đó là Corki, còn đó là Aphelios, rất nhiều xạ thủ dành cho Wales. Quan trọng là
I don't really perceive Azir being a winning matchup into Rise these days. Because usually Rise with the new Actualizer Ghost build is like he will force most mid laners to match Ghost, but I don't really think Azir is the type of mid laner who can afford to do that. Like if this Azir goes Ghost, I think he just gets headshot early game with no TP. And I don't really see how the Jarvan finds value this game either. Because all Secret Whales will have to do is well, I guess maybe like if Quirky is out, there's less options that have mobility, but still, I feel like there's things you can play that can make the Jarvan suffer. Is Rise Wukong a combo you can go? I mean, sure, yeah. It's a very front-to-backy first 3. Rise has set up for Wukong and vice versa. Yeah, I mean, I guess the deep cross strat is literally just let's go Jarvan and Bard and then ban out the immobile AD carries. But Secret Wells, they can go Smolder, they could go Tristana if they want, Ezreal, yeah. Like, there's so many options. You can't ban them all.
SD sẽ lấy cho mình đó là Ezreal mạnh early game đẩy lane với đối phương và không sợ bộ đôi Zonora cũng như là con bạt bên phía bên kia.
And that's the issue, is like, okay, so you banned Kaizo and Corki, but now you just have fucking Jarvan Bard into Ezreal. That doesn't sound super great to me. Dude, if Pun blind picked Quinn, I would have screamed. But yeah, let's see. Congratulations on getting LCS Co-Streaming rights, thank you. I expect to see you back 14 hours from now. Let's see. Poro, did you sleep at all? I did sleep. I slept from like 11 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Ngoài ra thì chúng tôi cũng tin rằng TSW họ sẽ cần phải thi đấu kỹ lưỡng hơn trong giai đoạn landing, bởi vì đây là một
Ignore me while I just continue to blow my nose every 2 seconds.
nhiều thời gian và tài nguyên của họ có thể lên tiếng luôn ạ.
Đúng là như vậy. Hy vọng là early game trong một giai đoạn mà
That's why you're all here, right? It's just the sickness ASMR.
Với cái lốc xoáy đến từ con bài Wukong với những tiếng lao vào của con bài Rakan. Thực sự là rất hy vọng TSW có thể mang về chiến thắng, cho dù là Bambic của Deep Gaming họ ổn hơn.
Xin cảm ơn Trung, còn bây giờ thì Vinh Nghi xin mời mọi người chúng ta hãy cùng nhau đến ngay với lại bình luận viên của chúng tôi.
Xin cảm ơn bạn phân tích và chào mừng tất cả các bạn đã đến với tuần thi đấu thứ 2 của LCP. Chúng ta đang đến với ngày
Get well soon. Try Panadol. What the fuck is that?
Trong trận đấu đầu tiên này cũng sẽ được một đụng độ hấp dẫn và sôi nổi không hề kém. Một tân binh mới.
Oh, acetaminophen. That will not help me right now.
Vâng, Team Secret Well họ đang đứng trước cơ hội để có thể tiếp tục giữ vững ngôi đầu tại LCP giai đoạn 1 năm 2026 khi mà đối thủ ở phía bên kia là Real Deep Cross Gaming. DCG thì họ cũng đến với LCP với một tâm thế là một đội tuyển được đánh giá khá là cao.
Never mind, it's paired with acetaminophen and some stuff.
Nó khiến cho cái màn thể hiện của họ ngày hôm nay nó sẽ đặt một cái dấu chấm hỏi rất lớn cho đội tuyển đến từ khu vực PCS này.
Yeah, maybe it would have been helpful like a week ago, you know, but at this point, the sickness is like almost gone. It's the only thing that's left is the stuffy nose, but like the fever and all of that is gone at this point. So now it's just a waiting game until all of my symptoms leave.
Và từ đó giành được chiến thắng thì nó xem là liệu tính chất bắt cầu nó có thể giúp cho TSW tự tin rằng là ở trong ngày thi đấu hôm nay họ sẽ có thể dễ dàng đánh bại.
Alright, well, the expectation I think is that Secret Whales win the series, and I also think that their game 1 draft is better, so we will see what happens. The problem is that a lot of Secret Whales comp being good is dependent on this Ezreal kind of stuffing all of the Jarvan Bard Azir engages. However, Eddie is an inter, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see, because if Eddie runs it down too many times, then they can lose this game for sure, but this game should be very easy for Ezreal to play, I think. Let's see, should I consider watching the next series? SoftBank Hawks versus Ground Zero. And even I was considering not watching the next series. The thing is that I kind of need to stay up for it anyway, because I need to stay up until a store opens, so that way I can buy a portable charger, because I kind of like, there's supposed to be a big storm happening, and I kind of forgot to consider what I would do if the power goes out. Which, by the way, there is a very real chance that we don't co-stream tomorrow, because my power went out. So, yeah, just keep that in mind.
Quan trọng đó chính là con rồng, các đồ sẽ có xu hướng đánh rồng nhiều hơn.
Nhưng cái mấu chốt ở đây đó là cái việc cạnh tranh cua. Bởi chúng ta đã nhìn thấy là cái vùng rừng của cả hai đều đang nửa dưới lên trên, tức là nếu như có chạm mặt là sẽ đụng độ với nhau ở nửa cánh trên này. Và khi chúng ta đang nhìn vào những yếu tố cần thiết nhất thì Team Square đang là đội có được lợi thế lớn.
I wonder how that works with my contract. You know, the one that's like you have to co-stream opening week. What do I do if my power goes out? I can't co-stream that shit. Do they want me to walk to the public library? Be careful on this one, it's gonna be really bad where I am. It's supposed to be not terrible. Alright, Top 9 is getting double scuttled by Wukong as Jarvan. That is terrible for him. Co-stream from a Starbucks. Yeah, I will support Starbucks in Big 2026.
Và hình như là anh ta đã bấm B biến về trên cái tầm nhìn để được một thành viên nào đó cắm mắt ở ngay khu vực bãi chim. Chính vì vậy mà bên phía của DCG ở trong giai đoạn một pha tốc biến đánh thử chăng đây.
Have you seen highlights of the JDG BLG match? I have not. I want to.
Chính vì thế mà thôi, cứ giữ lại những cái gì cần thiết nhất là được. Còn trong đó bóp này anh ta đang ngốn một lượng thời gian ngay khu vực nửa cánh dưới này.
Unfortunately, my schedule is horrendous.
Tại vì bây giờ cũng chả có gì để kiếm cả. Đầu tiên là anh ta đang bị chậm nhịp hai cua với lại Histo phía bên kia chiến tuyến, và cái thứ hai nữa là anh ta muốn tạo đột biến khu vực dưới, nhưng cả hai
You live close to a lake, so you might be fear-mongering. Are you a Great Lakes merchant?
Và với cái vòng rừng đầu tiên cực kỳ thuận lợi cho Histo, anh ta
Stream from a hospital, yes. When my roof caves in.
Cấp độ 6 nhanh hết mức có thể để có thể tiến hành giao tranh rồng hoặc là sâu ở cái pha đánh nhau đầu tiên. Nếu như mà các thành viên đi đường của Team Square họ không gặp bất kỳ một khó khăn nào, thì Histo cũng sẽ không có nhu cầu phải di chuyển ra để hỗ trợ cho Pool hay là SD hay là Die.
Một lời khen rất lớn dành cho Bull khu vực đường trên, đó là bằng một cách nào đó mà anh ta lấy được cái tốc biến của Florent mà chưa cần phải lên được cấp độ 6. Tức là cái thế ép từ Bull là cực kỳ xuất sắc, nó khiến cho Florent đã phải sử dụng tốc biến của mình đi. Và quan trọng hơn nữa là ở trong giai đoạn này khi bạn chưa hoàn thành nhiệm vụ thì Florent phải luôn luôn trong trạng thái là bước từ bên trong bể đá cổ bước ra và đi bộ dần dần lên khu vực đường trên, chứ không thể nào sử dụng được sự kiện giống như Bull, người vừa rồi mới đón đầu đợt lính ngay khu vực trụ của chính bản thân mình dựa trên cái trận chiến mà ta đang gặp.
Ở khu vực đường dưới khó đánh nhau nhẹ nhàng, mắc xích không gian chỉ để làm chậm người BE. Eddie quay ngược trở lại dịch chuyển khoa học của mình khá là đanh đá, cố gắng trả sát thương vào người của Phân. Vai trò đường dưới của Team Square là họ phải luôn luôn duy trì được thế đẩy, tránh việc cho Phân và Chelsea ép sâu vào tấn trụ, qua đó nó sẽ mất đi cái quyền kiểm soát ở khu vực rồng. Phải tận dụng được cái chất tướng Ezreal ở giai đoạn nửa đầu của ván đấu, không nên để cho con Junara nó dẫn trước quá nhiều.
Một tình huống cố gắng dẫn dụ tới Florent, nhưng đây sẽ là thế 2 đánh 2 nếu như Florent không cẩn trọng pha lướt lên tấn công mưa tên lửa rải ra, nhưng mà cảm giác không có đam nhiều cho lắm. Thần cá sấu đã được bật lên và Florent đây là người được chọn. Bob Knight đã cố gắng hỗ trợ thêm và tốc biến gõ thiết bản ngay cần Bob Knight vẫn đang làm một cách để bỏ chạy.
Renekton is usually Thanos in these types of fights. Nice, Histo just eat back in and died. I mean, they can try to dive this maybe. They were thinking about it, but they're not gonna go for it. Sorry, I'm like looking at my second monitor because I am reaching out to Riot to ask about what happens if my power goes out and I can't fulfill my co-streaming agreement obligations.
Pha đó thì Histo anh ta lại đi quá sâu và quay ngược lại ăn một cái thiêu đốt và một pha mở quy đốt lửa của Florent. Histo nằm xuống, mạng chiến công đầu rơi vào tay người chơi đường trên của bên phía Relove Discord Gaming. Như thế thì nó sẽ tạo ra một cái thế hơi khó khăn một tí dành cho Pool ở trong những phút thi đấu tiếp theo. Khi mà bạn vừa rồi Rumble về nhà lấy luôn cho mình cái dây thép gai, anh ta cũng sẽ có được khá cái khả năng chống chịu đấy.
Còn trong khi đó thì ở khu vực này vẫn sẽ là những cái vòng rừng cua rất là tuyệt vời dành cho Histo. Có thể là anh ta gặp một số vấn đề ở khu vực đường trên, nhưng bởi vì anh ta có hai.
Does Eddie even know how to play Ezreal? Who knows? I mean, I think he. Like there were only a few options that he had. Like he could have played Ezreal, Smolder, Lucian. What was the other one that I was thinking of in the moment? It was Ezreal, Smolder, Lucian, and yeah, Tristana was the other one. Yeah, if Histo doesn't E in here, they're completely fine, by the way. Like, if Histo doesn't E in right here, Dire can for sure move up and they just dive those guys and they die. It's 1 AM, I'm waiting on LCK. Yeah, that's usually what happens, is that my viewership is decent for the first LCP series, and then LCK starts and everybody leaves.
Sự tham lam đó đã khiến cho Histo phải trả giá, nhưng quan trọng hơn hết là nguồn kinh tế và cái nguồn điểm kinh nghiệm dồi dào của Histo lớn quá. Chúng ta xem Bob Knight đang tầm ở giữa cái thanh kinh nghiệm của cấp độ 6 phía bên này.
Oh, LCP Azir. Oh no.
Không xua đổi máu, tốn thêm thời gian của CLC mà không có được thêm bất cứ một cái lợi thế gì.
Một pha mà đánh có vẻ là hơi không chắc chắn một chút.
And the trend of Hong Q being the only LCP player who can play that shit continues.
Hơn về lượng kinh nghiệm so với Pop9. Và nếu như Histo anh ta hoàn toàn có thể kết thúc vòng rừng ở nửa trên của bản đồ và chạy xuống tiến hành giao tranh đi con rồng đi. Khi mà ở thời điểm hiện tại thì Eddie cũng đã có cho mình một cái thủy kiếm, những cái phát bắn thần bí của anh ta nó cũng sẽ có sức mạnh hơn một chút so với những cái đòn đánh tay của Phân. Và Eddie cùng với LBE sẽ hoàn toàn
I am blind to LCP Azir, yeah. You know, I think that LCP Azir is becoming the equivalent of LEC Jace. Where it's just like, these teams should just not pick that shit, you know? Maybe we can allow Pungyan to try it a couple more times, and nobody else. LCS Lucian? You know that LCS used to be like really good at Lucian, right? Back in 2016, Doublelift used to be considered the GOAT Lucian. Until his one international fuck-up. Okay, they need to wait for this turret aggro to drop, by the way. This is crazy. They are all going to take 10 million damage from this turret. Yeah. That's crazy. Alright, nice. Honestly, I don't even think they should have gone for the dive on Jarvan. This team is psychotic, though. Of course they're going to go for it. Oh, also I get to move this back down.
Nếu như nói về cái khâu đánh nhau 1v1 và sát thương lâu dài thì chắc chắn rằng Ezreal sẽ không phải là đối trọng của con Yunara phía bên kia. Cho nên Eddie anh ta sẽ cố gắng hạn chế những cái tình huống 1-1 so với Yunara. Ở đây thì có một pha đánh hạt không nổ hơi khó hiểu đến từ Chelsea, nhưng phía bên kia chỉ có một.
You know, I don't really like that Chelsea went spellbook on Bard. I feel like these days you get more value from Bard if you just go electrocute. Especially when you're playing into a lane like Rakan. I feel like you can get a lot of value out of electrocute. But yeah, their tempo would have been so much better if they just didn't go for this dive. This was so risky.
Một pha múa rất đẹp của Pop9 vừa rồi trong lúc chúng ta đang xem replay. Cũng may mắn cho team Silverware là Histo ta không bị trụ bắn chết cái pha đó. Pha đó Histo nằm xuống thì sẽ thật sự là khá là lỗ về mặt đầu tư nhân lực đấy. Con rồng đầu tiên thì có vẻ như là hai đội họ cũng không quá mặn mà.
You know, it is kind of weird. Now that I've like done co-streaming for a split, and now that I have my own team that I'm coaching, I'm noticing that I'm like so much more locked in when I'm watching my team play. Like I feel like when I'm watching my team play, I can like see the entire game and view like every angle and everything that the teams need to do. And then like I'm watching this co-stream and low-key my brain is like half off.
Quyết định của Eddie là bấm B về chứ không ở lại. Đây là điều hợp lý mà thôi. Khi mà nguồn năng lượng của anh ta đang cạn dần theo thời gian thì đây là một ý tưởng khá là hay. Pop9 vẫn đang đứng đợi khi kết thúc tung được bull lên, có luôn cả mưa từ lửa rải ra. Bull đang cắt và sắc, sau đó anh ta sử dụng bùa điều K6 bị dính một pha trừng phạt và bull vẫn đang làm một cách để có thể thoát đi và đã thoát biến để có thể thoát được. Histo đang chạy lên đây để hỗ trợ.
Because it's LCP. By the way, I was thinking about making a video on this. I don't know if it's like a substantial enough topic to talk about, but I was wondering why last year, when I was watching LCP domestically, it felt like the teams were so much worse than LEC and LCS, but then it turns out that they weren't. Like, based on when I was like actually watching LCP, it felt like a lower quality region. Like CFO felt like a worse team in Split 3 than like Fly, C9, G2, MKOI, like these teams. So I was trying to think about why, and the conclusion that I came to was that LCP, if you watch the games, almost every single time the game is progressed, it's because somebody is making a stupid mistake. Like somebody is stepping up and getting punished, or is like being caught out, or is not connecting to an objective or something, and then so you almost never get these situations in games where the game is being progressed in a normal way. Like you're never having like objective 5v5 standoffs. You're never having like people jostling for position or anything, which is stuff that you do get in LEC and LCS. And I think that the reality is that LEC and LCS do tend to be better at those things than the LCP. So a lot of times LEC and LCS will make less early game and mid game mistakes, and then more games will be decided around neutrals and around team fighting and stuff. But the thing is that despite all of that, the LCP teams just have better hands. Like it's hard to calculate who will actually win if you're just doing it based on solely mechanics. But like the reality is that the LCP teams just have better mechanics. So they'll make their mistakes and they'll get punished for their mistakes, but then they'll rock up to the team fight against the Western teams and then they'll just win the team fight anyway. And it's like that's not something that I would be able to expect beforehand. So like what'll happen is that every single time an LCP team plays against a Western team, they'll make their mistakes early and it'll look really bad, and then they'll fall behind or whatever, and then they'll just be down like 3k, and then the LCS team will have a better objective setup and life will be good. And then the LCS team will literally just get mega hands diffed in the 5v5 and lose the game. And it's like, okay, well, you know, it's like, I literally think it's that simple. Like, I think that it's just that the LCP teams might be better purely based off of hands diff, but it still just doesn't feel good to watch them because they lose the games in like ways that I would perceive to be more elementary than the Western teams, you know? Like, that's the reason why I liked Secret Whales so much last year, is because they felt like the one team in the LCP who would progress the early games in a way that actually felt natural and productive. Like, they didn't just wait for the enemy team to make mistakes, or they didn't punish people's mistakes. They would actually, like, make proactive plays, which is something that other LCP teams, including CFO, wouldn't do. But then it just doesn't matter because, yeah, like you say, like, they would just get to an objective and Doggo would hands diff everybody and then we move on. Didn't this happen in CFO versus Fly? It did, yeah.
15 phút 2 đồ có vẻ là một cái tốc độ lên đồ cực kỳ là đáng sợ, và nên nhớ rằng Azir là một con tướng càng có nhiều đồ thì cái khả năng gây sát thương của nó sẽ càng kinh khủng trong những tình huống giao tranh đông người, và bây giờ thì team Secret Well đang ăn đi cho mình con sứ giả cái nước.
Like, Fly was in commanding positions in those games. They punished CFO on their mistakes. They were up thousands of gold. They had a better comp. And then they showed up to the team fight, and CFO just team fought better than them. So they won the game.
Khi mà SD anh ta cứ phải tựa lưng vào trụ và chờ đối phương đẩy lính rồi anh ta mới hứng thôi.
Ít nhất là SD đang không farm thua, mà ngược lại anh ta vẫn đang farm vượt trội hơn hẳn. Đây rồi bull cắt và sát phân chia thiên ngã đẩy đã không có bây giờ tóc biến lên nhảy và giữ chân đối phương lại, tóc biến chạy tới là không xua và ngay lập tức sử dụng.
But like that's the conclusion that I reached, like especially after watching Gam versus Vikings yesterday, which is supposed to be like two of the top teams in this region going at it. And it was a 2-1 series and it was close. But it just didn't feel good to watch, and so I was really trying to think about like why does this feel so bad to watch, even though I know these teams would probably beat, like, okay, for example, Vitality versus SK in the LEC. I'm certain that Gam and Vikings are better teams than Vitality and SK. But Vitality versus SK felt good to watch. Like, it felt like both teams were actively playing the game and doing productive things, whereas in Gam versus Vikings, it literally just felt like whoever ran it down less would win. And that was it. Because both teams were sprinting it, and it was just who sprinted it slightly less than the other team. And it didn't feel good. But so that must be the difference. Like, it must just be that Gam and Vikings have significantly better hands than the Western teams.
Kết quả E lên, kết quả dịch chuyển học lên đến từ SD nó
But yeah, this was a good play.
đi rất nhiều những công cụ để chạy nhé.
Nice little Bard play. Actually, wait, didn't Xiao Xi have like a disgusting Bard game last week? Respect to pick it again and actually play well.
Cái ván thi đấu này tôi cảm giác như là họ cũng có những sai lầm, họ cũng bị team TSW khai thác nhưng họ không vụn vỡ ngay. Họ tìm một cách nào đó để có thể bật lại ở một vị trí khác ở trong bản đồ. Có thể thấy rằng là họ chấp nhận.
But yeah, I did consider making a video about that.
Và tới lúc mà họ khai thác lại thì họ lại khai thác một cách rất là
About that topic on why does LCP feel so weird to watch compared to the Western regions.
Sẽ liên tục có những tình huống gây lượng sát thương đã rất khá là ổn. Điều này sẽ hạn chế một vào đó Deep Cross Gaming và nhiệm vụ của Deep Cross Gaming là làm sao mua vào trong một tình huống giao
What server do the LCP pros practice on? I'm pretty sure most of them are on Korean solo queue. And they just play on bad ping.
Đã bị phát hiện bởi một tình huống cắm một con mắt phát sáng, phía cánh còn lại DE đang giữ chân Celsim và cung ánh sáng xuyệt được qua người của ông Xua và đó là con rồng được cướp rất nhẹ nhàng đến từ phía của DCG. Tốc biến lên giữ chân lại cùng.
But like this objective setup is so scuffed. Secret Whales, they're like not actually playing around Banana Brush at all. They're just hitting the dragon and the comms are probably let's fight. You know? They're probably like enemy team will show up to the dragon. Let's fight them to the death. Whereas a Western team would be like, they'd be like trying to control Banana Brush and Line Brush and give the bush slowly and like all of this stuff, you know. But swear to God, Ezreal probably was way too high. Well, the reason why they picked Ezreal this game wasn't because they wanted to play it in game one. It's because enemy team blind picked Jarvan and Bard and then banned Corki and Kai'Sa. So Ezreal is just the best option with mobility left that they could play to try to punish the Jarvan Bard. I mean, it was a good spot for the Ezreal.
Vẫn là một dấu hiệu bất ổn về team Square và đặc biệt hết là cái vấn đề về việc chọn mục tiêu để khai thác đến từ team Square.
So any Eastern team that beat Western team besides LCK and LPL is just hand stiffing the Western team? I mean, I wouldn't say that. Like, for example, I think
ví dụ như họ có thể lướt lên họ đấm vào chỗ Loden cũng được, tại Loden đang nắm giữ một vị tướng không phải là cơ động và máu.
I think Secret Whales like genuinely just clapped VKS.
Để khiến cho nó gặp vấn đề, nó nằm sớm không có đam. Chính vì thế mà Secret Whales đã khiến cho bản thân của họ tự đưa mình trong tư thế khó, đứng vào bên trong cái khả năng phòng thủ của đối phương.
Couldn't Lucian Braum also work? It could have, except for the fact that they picked Rakan in first three, so they were kind of stuck with the Rakan. I don't know if you want to go Lucian Rakan. That doesn't sound great. Yeah, I would also have to like rewatch the CFO versus MCOY series at MSI. I'd want to see how that went. And same thing with the first stand series. I'd want to see the best of threes that CFO played against KC and TL.
Như vậy là hơi khó cho team Secret như vậy. Anh Trung nghĩ rằng là bây giờ mấu chốt để cho team Secret chiến thắng thì họ phải bắt ai bây giờ?
Giờ cứ đánh ai trước mặt trước hoặc là tổ chức một tình huống bắt lẻ cái đã, họ cần phải bắt lẻ để có thể giảm thiểu đi những cái thiệt hại được tạo ra tới DCG. Tại vì ở trong giai đoạn này với lượng tiền 5k tiền và với một đội hình kéo về lane như thế này nó đã quá.
But also, I don't know if you'd want to go Braum in this game. Now that I'm thinking about it, you don't really get that much value out of it. Like even if they did have the opportunity to counter Braum, it's just like if you look at this game, like Braum is not good into Bard, Yunara, Azir, or Rumble. Like, it's good into Jarvan. That's it.
Lần đầu của mình luôn rồi. Hai đội khi mà đang trong những cái sự hỗn loạn thì bắt buộc phải có một người đó giúp cho họ biết được là đường đi nước bước nào sẽ là đường đi nước bước thông minh nhất.
Từ từ mở thần K6 vòng ra phía đằng sau đến từ Pool nhưng Phân đã phát hiện ra và lui về rất nhanh. Histo có chim mồi lao lên muốn bắt một người Phân hay không? Phân mở phá ngang thằng thần lướt nhanh qua phía bên kia tường. Ở phía bên này Pop9 cũng ôm đại địa chấn để cản đường team Secret Well. Deep Cross Gaming họ lui về bình an vô sự và người chơi xạ thủ của họ chỉ mất đi một cái chi phí mà thôi.
Chúng ta có thể nhìn thấy được là họ đang bị đinh trong cái việc là cứ phải chọn mục tiêu là pháp sư và xạ thủ đối phương.
Like, the LCP macro goes crazy. I just want to point out that we are a minute and a half out from the Drake spawning, and neither team has a single ward in the other team's bot side jungle. Like, that's crazy to me. That's actually insane. And instead, our game plan is Renekton press R and run at them. Maybe we get something. And then they got Yunara Ghost, and it's like, there's their advantage, you know? It's like, this is not... a normal way to play the game.
Đáng tiếc con cá sấu không khả năng tiếp cận cũng hơi khó. Vào muốn cướp bùa xanh của Isto tuy nhiên không được. Thiên mệnh khả biến dùng ra đai né được combo kỳ kích lao lên đến bóp này mất bóng rất nhiều. Đây rồi, đây chính là điều chúng
Yeah, see, and instead of
bốc hơi ngay lập tức.
teams like ping-ponging mid waves and getting vision and bot side and trying to set up control and basing to refresh wards, it's like, no, let's just square off at the blue buff. Let's out posture them on the blue buff and then we'll kill somebody. Speaking of wards, LR is constantly outboarded when playing. Yeah, Los Ratones have a lot of issues when it comes to their objective setups. I think there are plenty of people who have been pointing them out though. Like, Los Ratones are really bad at connecting their carries into their team fights, for example. Instead of having macro, they just fight for no reason. Well, I mean, they're not fighting for no reason, right? Like, the Renekton flank is low-key for no reason. They just think maybe they have good position, but like, for example, the Jarvan, like, he wanted the blue buff, you know? Like, that's not no reason. It's kind of a random reason. It's not a reason that most people would consider throwing the game over, but it is a reason.
Và team Sigurwell họ đang ăn nhanh bù lại Baron ở phút thứ 23, 24 của ván đấu. Tốc độ ăn là chưa nhiều cho lắm và họ quyết định là lui ra. Đó là một pha test sát thương thôi. Tôi nghĩ rằng như vậy. Cảm giác rằng mình ăn chưa đủ nhanh và quyết định lui ra và cũng một phần nào đó khiến
Reckless is always the last one dying. I actually think that Reckless team fighting is fine. I know a lot of people have an impression that Reckless is a very passive player. And it is true, he's a very passive player, but not in team fights. Like, he might always be the last person to die in team fights, but I think that's just because he's good at sensing when a team fight is like giga lost, and then he just backs up like after he knows that it's doomed. But I think his team fighting is actually fine. The reason why he ends up being so passive is because he doesn't really find any angles in early and mid game ever. Like, he's never fighting on timers in between objectives when they could be doing something productive. Didn't Reckless have a 0-death game on Braum? Yeah, but like, he wasn't being passive in team fights, I don't think. Like, the issue with the Braum game was that Braum is a champion who wants to scrap it out early. Braum is a champion who wants to make use of his passive to like contest scuttle crabs or like get invades and stuff. And Reckless literally just sat in lane the entire time. Like, he didn't try to do anything with Velia, he just sat in lane and didn't fight. And like, there were a couple of times where he definitely should have fight. Like, there were some scuttle crabs that Velia clearly wanted to go for that Los Ratones should have gotten, but Reckless didn't move. Like, those are the moments where he needs to be more aggressive, where he should be racking up more deaths and more assists and stuff. But I think his team fighting is mostly fine.
Quá là mạo hiểm vào bên phần sân của đối phương. Dù gì mà nói thì Phân vẫn đang sẽ là mục tiêu số 1 mà thôi. Anh ta đang là người tạo ra được rất nhiều những điểm nóng và bản đồ nhịp của anh ta đang rất là căng khi mà 3 món trang bị của anh ta đã hoàn thành ngay từ giai đoạn thời điểm trước đó. Chính vì thế nhiệm vụ của Sigurwell là phải làm sao ngăn được cái nhịp đấy.
Los Ratones and Reckless or the Reckless Velia pairing, you have an issue just not fighting the things they need to fight. Yeah, I feel like Velia shows up to a lot of things that he should be fighting, but he's just not saying anything to his team. Like, he'll just show up to something that he knows he should be able to take, but instead of telling his team to move, he'll just like stand there and stare at it until the enemy team takes it. And then either he'll like try to contest it and die, or he'll just like leave, you know.
Phân mở chiều cuối lướt lên, đâu đó SD đã phải nằm trước cái lượng sát thương đến từ Florence. Bên phía team Sigurwell mất 2 người trước thềm con Baron.
Moon đã bị lộ ở trong tình huống vừa rồi và đó là một tình huống bắt lẻ rất thành công đến từ bên phía của DCG khi họ cảm nhận được là Bull không bật thần cá sấu mà Bull còn chạy về và những người còn lại.
Baus has been a better gank presence than Velia. Yeah, Baus has been actually making good plays. Like, that's one of the things I've been saying is like, Baus is making a lot of stupid mistakes, but he's also playing the game and finding a lot of smart plays too. I've been pretty impressed with him, all things considered. Why is Baus our best player? All right, well, let's hold your horses. I think your best player is still Nemesis, you know. Baus had 2 good games, and then the Vi game was really bad. What was his first game? Because the Vi game was the 3rd game, and I actually thought he was fine in that game. Holy fuck, Eddie! What? Okay. Kled? Yeah, I actually thought that the Vi game was completely fine. Like, they were in a position to win that game, and the Vi's job isn't to actually do anything in that game. Like, the Vi is kind of homeless. The reason why Baus was on Vi was because they picked Vi as a flex pick, and then the enemy team picked a team comp that was bad into Mundo, so they flexed the Vi tops, that way they could go Mundo. So, like, Baus is not expected to get a lead. Like, that's Vi and Tanar is a losing matchup. The reason why he was playing it was because the expectation was that Velio would be able to make up the difference. He was shit on the Kled game. Yeah, that's kind of like what my impression was, is that his worst game was the Kled game. And then the Volibear game was his best game, and then the Vi game was like fine. Like, he made mistakes in the Vi game, but it's like I think he was expected to make mistakes in the Vi game because the draft, it wasn't like good conditions for him. He also had 2 team fights where he was super disconnected. He actually didn't. Like, I know which ones you're thinking about. Like, for example, one of the ones you're thinking about is probably the final team fight of the game, where they were like going on the Azir, and then he just like randomly ulted the Aphelios, right? I think his call to ult Aphelios is actually correct, by the way. Like, I think Azir should have been one-shot if Nemesis pressed his Shockwave, and Nemesis literally just didn't use Shockwave. And then so the Azir survived. But like, if Nemesis uses Shockwave, they kill Azir, and then they can refocus on the Aphelios. Like, I think it's fine to ult the Aphelios there. Because it's like the first angle they've had on Aphelios all game, basically. And then just the fact that Nemesis held a Shockwave in the final team fight is like a crime to me. Aphelios had Flash and Barrier. Yeah, well, the idea is that Azir is getting one shot, right? If Nemesis presses Shockwave, Azir is one shot. And it's like, if you go into it with that mindset, it's like, of course you're gonna ult the Aphelios who's in range next. It doesn't matter if he has Flash Barrier. It's like, if the Azir is dead, we are ulting the Aphelios. Like, yes, that is what we do in the team fight next. And I think Baus just thought that if he didn't ult the Aphelios then he was never going to have the angle. Which is probably true. As a big Nemesis fan, he has fallen off for the last year. I think Nemesis has been playing well, though. Like, minus the fact that he held a Shockwave in the final team fight of Game 3, I think he's been playing pretty solid. He's definitely the best player on his team relative to the rest of the region. Like, he's higher up in the mid rankings for LEC than like Crowny is in the bot rankings. Disagree, but don't have a super clear image of the game. I'll pull it up after this game ends. Like, I think if you look at a lot of the mistakes that Baus made, a lot of it is like, some of it is what the fuck was he supposed to do, and then other stuff of it is, well, his teammates could have played better. You know, it's like. One thing I dislike about the criticism of Baus feeding his enemy laners is that the laners have been getting fed in team fights and not necessarily in lane. Oh no, it's definitely true that Baus solo dies a lot in lane. That's been a big criticism of his for a while.
Có thiên mình khả biến hóa vàng, Florent đang tạm thời được giữ lại ở đây. Hết hóa vàng, anh ta tốc biến qua phía bên kia tường, nhưng Histo quyết định tốc biến theo, và đó là màn shutdown dành cho Đài. Vòng xoáy không gian.
What the fuck? What? Hello? Dire, bro. What was that realm warp, buddy? What was? What? Dude, there's no way that Histo knew where that realm warp was going. What the hell?
vai bị rối về mặt xử lý trong tình huống rồi khi mọi thứ là
LCP best mid, by the way. Yeah. Apparently.
anh ta cũng với Listo đã đưa vào trong tình thế khó và cuối cùng cả hai đã nằm.
Tôi cứ tưởng đó là cái chiêu cũ của Echo quay lại vị trí cũ cách đây vài giây. Và bây giờ Deep Gaming với lợi thế hơn người, thần K6 được mở ra đến từ Pool. Pool lấy thân mình lấp lộ cho Mai, cố gắng dọn lên nhưng Bob9 lao vào.
Well, this confirms my suspicions that Dyer is in fact not a fucking Rise player. Like, I that's what I was saying, is I don't remember this guy playing Rise, but is Kati really my region's best mid laner this year? Hell no. Kati has played 3 games, and Shawnee has played 1 game. And I'm already certain that Shawnee is better, you know? Wait, where is this realm we're going? What the hell? Nah, that might be the craziest realm warp I've ever seen in my life, by the way.
Tin vui cho team Sigurwell khi mà họ có thể ngăn cản được đợt đẩy và Eddie lại tiếp tục có thêm cho mình mặt hạ gục. Nhưng ở thời gian thật, team Sigurwell lại vào ăn Baron ở phút thứ 33. Florent có mặt ở một
Alright, just hit the Baron.
Bên này cũng có mặt nhưng mà mất đi cho mình nửa máu. Mưa tên lửa.
Jarvan is dead, hit the Baron.
Mất đi cho mình lá chắn rồi. Sau khi tới với thiên mệnh khả biến, hóa vàng và câu giờ và bù lại Baron. Đại phía bên này đang bị đánh vào từ nhà tới trường đến từ vị trí của Phân.
They're gonna get the Baron and then lose the game. That's my prediction. Oh, wait, actually that's a good angle from BA. Killing Yunara is pretty nice. Like, everybody else might die, but it could be worse.
Chắc chắn là sẽ phải nằm phía bên này thì Bull dịch chuyển chạy được. Vẫn còn 2 người còn sống. Ván đấu nào thì thôi nhé. BE, CLC đang dí 2 hỗ trợ solo và BE vẫn đang hồi phục lại. CLC vẫn đang dí, vẫn đang là cái tư thế đối bắt được em. Và BE, anh ta nhảy qua phía màn trái, CLC dí tới và anh ta vừa rồi nốc một cốc trà để có thể tiếp tục dí theo Quy đã trúng xài máy quét để check side và BE vẫn đang.
I think the game is over anyway.
Thiếu cái điểm nhảy tiếp viện thôi, vẫn đang.
They have no wave clear.
Và cả hai vẫn đang solo cùng Bolero ở khu vực cánh trên. Khu vực này thì đang là cuộc chiến giữa 2 đấu 3. Lốc xoáy để giải quyết lính nhưng ông Súa đang quá mạnh mẽ, thả đâm mưa tên lửa rải ra và rất nhiều lượng sinh tư được bồi vào. Baron đang được hỗ trợ nhưng 2 trụ vệ nhà chính không thể nào phòng thủ được và sẽ là chiến thắng dành cho bên phía của DCG. Không còn sự xuất hiện từ BE nữa. Nhà chính đang trong tầm bắn của Hồng Sùa, sẽ là 1-0 dành cho đại diện đến từ khu vực của PCS.
We need to start asking ourselves the real questions. Does LCP have one good team?
Và cũng đều có những sai lầm cá nhân, nhưng mà team Sigurwell có lẽ là họ là đội mắc nhiều sai lầm hơn và cái đội hình của họ cũng không cho phép họ được mắc sai lầm quá nhiều.
Cái quả băng trụ tôi nghĩ phải tầm.
But yeah, hold on. Let me pull up the
Tôi cảm giác họ hơi chạy cối quá. Nếu như họ đầu tư một con ngộ không
Los Ratones versus
sáng hơn nhờ. Tôi cảm giác nó vẫn sáng hơn tại vì đánh ở trong những khu vực địa hình rộng.
What fucking team did they even play? I don't even remember.
Không một Rise sẽ có rất nhiều những cái khoảng không và đặc biệt hơn hết là những con lốc xoáy cực đẹp. Nhưng họ vẫn hơi tham vọng cho cái việc là bắt làm sao cho chết được.
It was versus KC, that's who it was. Yeah. Okay.
Đúng là như vậy. Đã có một thời điểm mà Pop9 cho team Sigurwell một gợi ý rằng là đây có thể đánh Javan này. Nhưng có vẻ như là team Sigurwell nhận ra câu trả lời hơi muộn và tới thời điểm đó thì mọi thứ nó càng khó khăn, lợi thế nó càng ngày càng nghiêng về cho bên phía của Deep Gaming và team Sigurwell mất đi cơ hội ở ván thi đấu đầu tiên.
Bây giờ chúng ta sẽ quay trở về với bảng tích để xem hai phân tích viên sẽ.
So, like, if you look at we can't see the draft, we can't see the pick order of this game, but I can pull it up on a website. LEC, lol. So, like, the first thing about this game heading into it, let me just get to 2026. Versus season, picks and bans. So, if we go KC versus Los Ratones, you got your ban phase. Then you have like your first few picks, whatever. But the point is that they went Vi on 4, right? Here. And then the enemy team went Wukong Gnar, and the idea is that for Los Ratones, the Vi is a flex pick, and you can send Vi top lane if you want. And they didn't send Vi top because they thought that Vi was a winning matchup into Gnar. Vi is not a winning matchup into Gnar. I can assure you that Baus did not think that Vi was a winning matchup into Gnar. I can assure you nobody on that team thought that matchup was winning. The reason why they sent Vi top was because enemy team went blind Wukong, and Los Ratones decided that they could get value from a Mundo counterpick. They thought that they would get more value from Mundo into Wukong than KC would get from Gnar into Vi. So heading into the game, the expectation is already that Baus is going to struggle. By design, from the draft, Baus is going to struggle. Like, he's playing into like Aphelios Lulu, and he's playing in a losing matchup. Like, he's not supposed to win at any point, right? The reason why he's like allowed to be so far behind is because based on how the draft went, Velio is supposed to be the one who's ahead. Like, Velio is supposed to generate the advantage. So like, if Baus has an underwhelming lane phase, or like if Gnar is beating him on side lane and stuff, like that stuff is already things that Los Ratones considered before the game started. They're expecting all of that to happen, so it's fine. Then if we get like into the actual like I think that like the biggest criticism of Baus was this final team fight here. So like, if we look at this final team fight, I couldn't actually find a normal VOD, but like if we look at this final team fight, like their engage on this Azir is really good, right? And then what happens here is that Baus is going to Q the Azir and then ult the Aphelios, and it looks really weird, right? And a lot of people thought that this was a mistake and that Baus should just ult the Azir. And then the Aphelios like flashes out. You can see that the team fight is like kind of weird because the call is to go on Azir, so Crowny like ults in this direction and is trying to pump the Azir this entire time. Nemesis is like backstepping so that he doesn't get engaged on by Wukong and stuff. But I think the main thing to point out here is that the ball is here on top of the Azir, right? And then he gets stunned by the Bard, and then he gets Q'd by the Vi, and then he gets ulted by the Vi, and the Mundo is hitting the Vi, and the Yunara is hitting the Vi. And I think the implication is that everybody thought that Nemesis was going to shockwave the Vi. Like, or not the Vi. I think everybody thought that Nemesis was going to shockwave the Azir. Like, if Nemesis shockwaves this Azir, like, the Azir is still knocked up, by the way. He's knocked up by the Vi ult. If Nemesis clicks shockwave at any point, this Azir is turbo giga one-shot, by the way. Like, and then if you look at the rest of the fight, Nemesis never uses his shockwave, by the way. He holds a shockwave the entire team fight, so it's not even like he was saving it for a better moment or something. Like, he's gonna die with the shockwave up if I'm recalling correct. Yeah, he dies with the shockwave up, so it's like imagine how this team fight goes if Azir gets one shot here, and then they're just hitting the Aphelios, and Aphelios has to like flash barrier away. Like, imagine there's just no Azir right now. Imagine Azir is dead, and then they're playing the situation. Like, full health bars, Aphelios is flashing away, Wukong is like solo in the team, nobody's there to help him. Like, I think that Los Ratones actually win this. Like, I don't know. Like, I personally think that the person who made the biggest mistake in this team fight was Nemesis. I don't think that Baus' ult on Aphelios was that egregious. Because, like, if nothing else, he can ult the Aphelios, and then when Aphelios flashes up, Baus can flash down, and then because Kiyahu would effectively be dead here, he would not be under any threat. Like, and I think that if you play the team fight like that, it's fine, you know? Like, imagine Kiyahu is dead here, Baus flashes in this direction, and then everybody just kills Yike. I think it could actually be a winning team fight. Because look how much, like, Yike almost got one shot, by the way. Yike is almost dead in like 0.5 seconds. Like, look at that. Like, imagine Baus flashes down, and then Yike takes that damage, and Kiyahu is dead. Like, can we not win this team fight? Like, that's the, I don't know. Like, this, I think that Baus played the team fight fine. I'm not gonna say he played it well or anything, but I think he played the team fight fine. I think that Nemesis was the one who made the biggest mistake. If Baus flashes down, he gets purple gun and dies. But why would Aphelios with no flash try to chase down Baus in this direction if Azir is dead and Wukong is about to get one shot? Like, that just screams to me that Aphelios wants to die, you know? Like, I really don't think this is how this goes. Like, Kalist flashes right here, by the way. Like, he flashed super early. If Baus flashes to here, I don't think Aphelios is reaching him. I don't think so. Like, I think the only way Aphelios can reach Vi is if Aphelios dies for it. Like, especially because Vi's charging her Q, and then she ends up trying to Q the Aphelios and then flashing into the Raptor wall. But it's like, imagine if Vi is like queuing down and then flashing. Like, how does Aphelios ever reach her? He already has purple on him from. Yes, but okay, but like, how does he ever kill a Vi? I don't care. I don't care if the Vi gets rooted. Vi just queues here and then like flashes here, and the Aphelios is 5 screens away. R goes far. Okay, but who cares? If the Azir is dead, and the Wukong is chunked for 75% of his health in 1 second, and the Aphelios has no flash, how do they win this team fight? They can't win this team fight. Like, I don't know. Like, even after the Aphelios lands the 4-man ult here, because again, we're assuming that Azir is dead and that Wukong is dead, and then so this would only be Gnar and Aphelios chasing. Like, even after this ult, it's effectively, like, disengaged, and the only reason why these people die is because the Azir is alive, and so he shuffles them and kills them. Like, you know? It's like, if Azir's not here, they actually disengage this. And then they would just, and that's even assuming that KFC would attempt to fight the 3v4, which I'm not convinced that they would. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that Bowser's team fighting was completely fine there. I don't think he made any major mistakes in the last team fight, even though it looks really weird. I don't think Los Ratones will go 0-11. I'd be pretty surprised. I think they will eventually win a game. I just hope it's not against my GOATs, SK. I need SK to lock in. G2 loves to lose to the worst team. They could do it. True.
Giai đoạn mùa đầu tiên mà chúng ta vừa phải chứng kiến một thất bại rất là đáng tiếc của TSW trước đó thủ.
What is the best Aphelios rotation? In my opinion, the best Aphelios rotation is first 2 items you go green, blue, purple, red, white, and then once you have enough items that red, blue is OP, then you swap to green, purple, blue, red, white. That's the Aphelios rotation that I want to see pro players do, and some of them do it. There's a couple of them that do that rotation. But there's also been a lot of pro players who seem convinced that, like, the new best rotation is this fucking, like, what have they been going? They've been going, like, they've been going purple, red, blue, white, green. That's the rotation that I've been seeing everybody go. And, like, their logic is that, like, they still get access to white-green, and then, like, there's this fad going on that, like, blue-white is OP because blue Q can generate a bunch of chakrams, then you still get access to blue-red and stuff, and it's, I don't know, it just seems so dog shit to me for your rotation to not have red-white into white-green on it. Best Aphelios rotation is green, purple, white, blue, red. See, and that just sounds like dog shit to me. That sounds horrible. There is no way that we can be having an Aphelios rotation that doesn't have red, white, or green, white. That is insane. Did you watch the Pace game yesterday? No, but I heard that his rotation was terrible. Somebody pinged me on Twitter with Pace's gun rotation and asked me for my reaction, and I gave them a frowny face. You can root someone next to your turret, true. It must be OP.
đây là một lựa chọn mà tôi nghĩ là nếu như mà Secret họ muốn lấy Malphite thì họ nên ban Salad của Pop9 đi, bởi vì Pop9 từng đạt MVP với cái con bài Salad này rồi.
Ngoài ra thì khu vực đường giữa của chúng ta hiện tại cũng mở ra một cái meta nó tương đối là cởi mở và có rất là nhiều cái lựa chọn có thể sử dụng, đúng không ạ?
Đúng là như vậy. Còn với Deep Cross Gaming thì tôi nghĩ rằng là sẽ không có vụ mà cho Dio được chơi Akali đâu. Chắc chắn họ sẽ ban Akali thôi. 2 trận đấu trước đó, trận nào mà Dio có Akali là trận đó Skidwell thắng. Nên chắc chắn Deep Cross không đời nào dám nhả Akali dành cho Dio. Một trong số những gọi là người chơi trẻ tuổi, tài năng trẻ của Skidwell cũng đến từ lò đào tạo của Skidwell.
Want to test green blue? Green blue is OP as shit. Oh, I need to see if Riot responded to my inquiry about opening up practice tool in between games.
Ở lượt cấm thứ 3 của team Well, họ quyết định dành thêm một lượt cấm nữa cho một vị tướng pháp sư vượt đường giữa.
Let's see. They told me that yes, I am not allowed to open practice tool.
Đây có là một vị tướng rất là meta, thế nên quyết định là ban Talia là hợp lý. Thế thì mid còn ai nhỉ? Còn đó là Ari, còn đó là những con như là Zona.
So my call yesterday was right. I'm not allowed to open practice tool on Auto Co-Stream.
Quyết định là first pick cho mình đó là Chase rừng dành cho Histo.
Whoa, Jace is open. He's getting locked in. Malphite is banned. Seems super OP. I wonder what Deep Cross's answer into it is. My team's answer is that we've been leaving up Jace on purpose and then picking Diana Yasuo into it. But somehow I doubt that Deep Cross is going Diana Yasuo. But the idea is that like Jace is pretty bad into dive, so if they have a dive option, like if they want to play like a Vi comp or something, they can. Like if they wanted to go Vi Ahri, like Ambessa, yeah, that's dive. Like I would be down for a Vi Ambessa, by the way. I think that's completely acceptable answer into first pick Jace.
Nhưng biết đâu được, đây có thể là Ambessa đi rừng. Aurora đường giữa dành cho Hồng Quy. Không còn Rise để counter Aurora, không còn Orianna khi đã bị ban và không còn Akali nữa. Không còn luôn cả Talia. Lựa chọn đường giữa bây giờ.
Wonder if it's an Ambessa Taric comp. Interesting. Dude, Dyer's been doing a lot of LeBlanc covering, but he hasn't been locking it in. When will we see the Dyer LeBlanc? He's like hovering all of his best champions, and then he's probably just gonna lock in Galio or some shit, you know? Alright, we actually get a real Dyer champion. Oh, by the way, this is a flex pick. They could totally flex Jace top and Silas jungle, is something that this team is capable of doing. But yeah, I don't hate it. You get the Silas and then you pick away the Alistar so they can't get Alistar ult. Green, blue, purple in early game, green, purple, blue starting at 4. Well, not 4 items. I think you can go green, purple, blue, red, white starting at like 2 items or 3 items. But yeah, here I can show you guys what blue green does on not practice tool apparently. But I can show you guys a video of somebody else doing it.
Now, this is where things get fun. Once
Here. We will watch the rest of this game, or not game, we will watch the rest of this draft, and then after the draft ends, before the game starts, I'll show you guys what the green-blue combo looks like when somebody who's not me is doing it. Was Galio banned? Actually, speaking of which, isn't it kind of weird that the Game 1 bans are literally nowhere? Like, this is Fearless Draft. Where are the Game 1 picks? They're nowhere on the HUD. It's kind of weird. What's bad about opening practice tool? There's a thing in the LCS... Not LCS. There's a thing in the co-streaming contract, or the co-streaming agreement, that says that while a co-stream is happening, you're not allowed to stream personal gameplay. So that means that, for example, like I'm not allowed to play solo queue in between games. So yesterday I wanted to show people what or no, yesterday what it was is I wanted to test out the Dusk and Dawn interactions on Practice Tool because we were like trying to figure out if Dusk and Dawn Azir like had specific interactions. And before I opened up Practice Tool, I double checked the agreement and I was like, I don't think I can open Practice Tool because I think that counts as personal gameplay. And then so I emailed the Riot rep on it, and they responded that I was right, that yes, Practice Tool counts as personal gameplay and I can't open it during a co-stream.
Tại vì họ bích Alistar đúng không?
Đúng.
Một cặp luôn. Ây chà. Bây giờ chúng ta còn cặp
Also, yeah, I forgot to move my
ở đâu bích hỗ trợ
webcam over the bands.
Lucian thôi, Lucian hoặc là Corki. Còn Aphelios,
Honestly,
Severe,
if I just like perma keep my
Jerry,
avatar up here in the middle, is this like
người xạ thủ thì vẫn còn nhiều.
weird during the middle of the game? Like, is it fine for it to be there? Not to be a narc, but other co-streamers play full TFT matches and stuff in breaks. Yeah, but sometimes bigger co-streamers just have different rules because they're big, you know? Anyways, here, let's look at this.
To get rid of Crescendum, you get the blue-green combo, the main reason why we want to use this rotation. But first, we have to understand what makes the synergy between these two so powerful. The key lies within Infernum Q's interaction with Calibrum. As we know, when you hit an enemy champion with Infernum Q, they get attacked with your offhand weapon right after. Most players are used to seeing this interaction with Gravitum, Crescendum, or Severum when they use the standard rotation. However, with Calibrum, there's a bit more to it. When you hit an enemy with Infernum Q, they get attacked with Calibrum from your offhand. On top of that, because of how Calibrum works when it is used as your offhand, it also leaves a mark that Aphelios can proc to auto the enemy again. So that means Aphelios can use a simple and instantaneous combo such as auto attack into Infernum Q to deal 4 instances of damage from a single ability. Let's compare this to what the standard rotation would look like at this point. If we had Gravitum instead of Infernum right now, we could use auto attack into Gravitum Q, into Calibrum Q, and Mark proc. Not bad. The thing is that in this case, we already had to use both weapons' abilities. If you look back at the blue-green rotation, if we use Infernum Q like mentioned, it does everything the other two weapons do combined, and we still have an entire other ability to play around. But it gets better. Because of how Calibrum interacts as an offhand, it takes a certain amount of time for the offhand auto-attack projectile to fly in the air to reach its target. Now this gets a bit complicated here, but bear with me. During that window, Aphelios' actual auto-attack cooldown has already reset from when you autoed before Infernum Q. It is possible, during this window, to squeeze in another auto-attack onto the enemy while the Calibrum offhand auto-attack is still flying through the air to its target. What that means, essentially, is that Aphelios is able to auto-attack twice at the same time when this interaction is happening. That would be 5 instances of damage while playing around one ability. Obviously, this doesn't happen.
Yeah, so that's green-blue. That is why green-blue is a fucking disgustingly broken combo that should be in your early game rotation. It's gonna be over champ health bars and stuff. I don't think it is, right? Because they changed the HUD so it's like more like the international HUD, and the health bars are at the bottom. I don't know, we'll see. I'm pretty sure my webcam doesn't cover anything. Or like my avatar doesn't cover anything like this. But yeah, like I did a gun rotation tier list a couple years ago in my Aphelios jungle video, so I'll pull that up too. Also, I noticed that we're actually not in game yet, which is kind of funny. If you cycle, but yeah, so this is my video about Aphelios that I posted July 17th, 2024. And somewhere in here I made a gun tier list.
Effects. Each event's Aphelios hits target, then off.
Okay, I'm explaining how the guns work right now.
Is the gun is white ground point. Quickly red can stack up to proc oftentimes tier list.
Here's my tier list. So my S tier gun combos on Aphelios when I made this tier list was green white and green blue. Those were what I considered to be the strongest rotations, followed by red white. Now I would have to like think about the rest of the list, but generally this is what I had. So makes sense that I value the one rotation as much as I do.
Thế nên là ở trong phiên bản cập nhật này thì Rayon họ cũng đã nerf cái
Why is blue red better? Because late game, so the advantage of going green blue is that it's a lot of burst damage, right? But burst damage falls off the later you get into the game in favor of consistent damage. So you don't like blue green falls off the later you get into the game, but then the combination of red blue, what will happen is that if you use your blue Q either on a minion wave or if you use it on multiple champions, it will then mark all of the enemies with the red offhand, which means that you can then channel a red auto attack and it will auto attack every single target that was hit by the blue gun, and the red gun gives you lifesteal. So if you hit multiple people with blue Q when you have red at the back, you heal like your entire health bar. But only if you have enough attack damage to make the lifesteal worth it. So like the combo only really does anything if you have like 3 or 4 items. And before that, it's not that good. But like once you have 3 or 4 items, it's basically just like an instant full heal. What do you think about your influence? Yesterday, Cagel's chat kept spamming about gun rotation and Cagel was pissed off about it. That's so funny. I had no idea. I love that. I would be so down to become the fucking Aphelios gun merchant. That's so funny. Also, yeah, it looks like they're... Wait, they're completely redrafting. What the fuck? Wait, this is a complete redraft. Poppy was not... Wait, hold up. Wait, was Poppy in this draft? Oh, it was. Wait. Oh, yeah, they're literally just... They're just remaking the draft. Okay, never mind. I don't know why. I like forgot that Poppy was in the draft, but yeah. Isn't that combo only available at certain attack speeds? Yes. Yeah. The like slipping in the extra auto attack, yeah. But even without slipping in the extra auto attack, it's still like a disgusting burst combo. Like you can still keep it simple and do blue Q auto attack, swap to green gun, green Q auto attack, and it's like 6 instances of damage. Like it's still ridiculous. Fun fact, with the new items, the new lowest standard ult cooldown of Blitzcrank is 5.73 seconds. Nice. That checks out. First time on stream, streamer gets hit. Boo dementia. Nice. Are you talking about the Poppy? Maybe misinformation, I haven't checked the Endless Hunger stacking thing. There's no way that... Actually, that's crazy. Imagine if the mathematically correct ability haste Blitzcrank build is just full AD with like... with like Endless Hunger and... I don't know, Ravenous Hydra or some shit. What is the best Aphelios skin? Ooh. My brain instantly says Lunar Beast, but I want to actually look at the Aphelios skins before I say that shit. Because I haven't actually checked the Aphelios skins in a while. Wow, is there really only... Okay, so there's 7. There's 7 Aphelios skins. It's probably either Spirit Blossom, Heartsteel, or Lunar Beast. I'll go with one of those 3.
Tuy nhiên thì nhìn qua một chút về cái lượt banh pick thì tôi thấy có một vài điểm bất ngờ khi chúng ta có Volibear ở khu vực đường trên trong tuyển của pool. Và nếu như mà mọi người cũng như là anh Trung có để ý thì Volibear ở mùa giải mới đang được chọn ở...
Let's see, if I add up my YouTube and my Twitch viewers right now, I have like 100 viewers. Are we ready for LCK to start and my viewership to immediately get headshot to like 30% of that?
Rất phù hợp với Volibear khi mà chỉ cần làm choáng hay làm chậm đối phương thì có được tăng tốc chạy và tốc đánh rất nhanh.
Và cái quy của con Volibear là một cái quy chỉ thẳng đầu nữa, rất là thoải mái nếu như nó có những cái tác động ngay từ giai đoạn sớm trên những cú chạy của nó. Chính vì vậy mà
like, come on. Are you guys really gonna tell me that HLE versus DN supers is better than whatever this series has been giving us. Actually, that's kind of a banger now. It'll be a good series to figure out if like how fraudulent HLE are.
Và khu vực đường giữa thì Đai đi với lại Honso, Salas thì Đai anh ta sẽ phải xử lý cực kỳ kỹ ở 3 cấp độ đầu, tránh việc bị cấu máu quá nhiều. Tất nhiên đây cũng sẽ là một cái kèo lợi thế hơn cho Honso, miễn rằng là Đai anh ta giữ được một cái lượng máu ổn áp cho những cấp độ đầu tiên thì về sau không bị thua thiệt quá nhiều chỉ số lính so với đối phương đâu.
But like if HLE is dog shit,
Poppy trong tay của Chelsea nó
there are like some fun implications for what first stand might look like. Because like if the LCK sends 2 teams, the expectation would be that they send Gen G and T1, right? But I think that if you're one of those other teams, like if you're a team like DK or Nongshim or FearX or something, you're going to find it a lot easier to qualify if you only have to worry about T1 as opposed to having to worry about T1 and HLE. Like I think that the odds that like DK makes it to first stand are much higher now, because they only have to upset 1 team instead of 2. You guys have no idea how down I would be for DK at first stand. I think that'd be so fun. What region is this? This is LCP. So Secret Whales is a team that came from the VCS, and Deep Cross is a team that came from the PCS. But yeah, I don't think my avatar's in the way of anything. Like, it feels kind of weird just having it in the middle of the screen, but it's actually not in the way of anything. So I think I can just leave it there, and then I won't have to worry about swapping it back and forth every time we get into draft. Be down for FearX at first stand. Yeah, I don't know if I trust Vikla in an international tournament. I know that he's been like smurfing for like 2 weeks, but I've seen that guy do some unspeakable things. Like, I don't know how I feel about clear Raptor Vikla topside at an international. That doesn't seem very great to me. Can't see the wall and the bush because of your avatar. Yeah, but like, okay, but the alternative is that I just put it here, which is where I've been putting it. But it's like, I'm still covering stuff. It's like, I'm just covering different stuff. Like, I'm gonna cover a portion of the left side of the screen regardless of where I put it. Vikla versus Leader first stand final. Yeah, they can play like Aurelia versus Silas or some shit. Okay, Dire solo kill. Would much rather have Nongshim than FearX. Yeah, I would say that Nongshim is probably my favorite LCK team. Because I'll say this. I thought that DK was my favorite LCK team. But at the end of the day, if you're watching a series, it's like your heart decides what your heart decides, right? When DK played against Nongshim, I found myself cheering for Nongshim, which was like, I wasn't expecting that. It was surprising to me. But, yep, turns out I just wanted Nongshim to win against DK. Regardless of what my brain wanted, that's what my heart wanted, so I guess Nongshim is my favorite LCK team. Like, that's the way that I decide my favorite team, by the way. It's literally just whoever I find myself cheering for is who I cheer for. I don't, like, try to force it. Also, I was, like, locked in so much on the Aphelios gun rotations that I, like, only half paid attention to this draft. I did not realize that we ended up with Volley Bear top. That's kind of crazy. Thoughts on Faker's current form? I don't think I've watched... Okay, Honks was dying again, nice. I don't think I've watched too much LCK yet. Yeah, the only series I've watched of T1 was their series against DRX. I never found the time to go back and watch their best of 3 against HLE, and I haven't watched their best of 2 against, or like their 2 games against KT either. So I really can't tell you. I have like virtually no knowledge of what T1's been up to. I guess that's like one of the downsides of following all 6 regions, is that it's like I can never follow all of any of the regions unless I'm co-streaming it.
Nếu như đưa vào cái thế 4-4, đồng ý là họ sẽ có con Aurora. Ví dụ nhé, ví dụ họ có được cả con Aurora khu vực nửa cánh dưới đi. Nhưng với Silas với Dây là cặp đôi này nhiều đam quá. Còn trong khi đó thì bên kia là Bob Knight là Phân, hai người chỉ có thể đảm bảo về lượng sát thương của duy trì theo thời gian những đòn đánh tay thôi. Chính vì vậy mà rất là chậm. Dai đang định làm quả hai thế giới lấy máu không xua đỡ solo trong trụ luôn á. Khu vực này sau đây Bull đang bị dí nhưng rất đáng tiếc là chú gấu dễ thương này vẫn có thể chạy được và lấy được cái lớp khiên thứ hai của công trình hai thế giới được bật lên, lấy cực kỳ nhiều máu. Dai nhảy qua đây anh ta E2 thành công và đó là quá ảo diệu.
Dude, Hoxo is getting monster gapped right now.
Ủi vai cũng không đủ. Pha này tiếc quá đó.
I think they're actually completely fine with that, giving the shutdown to Poppy.
Cái nổ đó mà hồi đồ vương hồi lại thì ngon. Anh ta có thể solo thêm quả thứ hai luôn nếu như cần thiết.
I just want you guys to all take note. This is what it looks like when Dyer plays one of the champions he's actually good at, instead of being on Aurora Galio duty, or whatever the reason was that he played Ryze in Game 1. But like, if you put Dyer on a champion that he's actually good at, he's actually good. It's a shocker, right? It's fucking crazy. Who would have guessed? Pumped for TL versus C9. I'm honestly just pumped for the entire LCS. Like, I've never co-streamed LCS before. This is very exciting for me.
Đây là sức mạnh đến từ con Silas. Đôi khi bạn bắt E lần 1, lần 2 là nó không ổn, nhưng qua tới lần 3 có thi bạn ít bóng hơn tí xíu. Nhưng vậy chỉ cần bắt E2 trúng thôi là nó thay đổi.
What is Hongso doing? Well, he was sticking around because he was trying to bait for Poppy, because Poppy's roaming up right now. Poppy's like in river right now. So he wanted to like make a play. Like, you can see that he preemptively W'd back, but I just don't think he expected Dyer to pull the trigger instantly. You're co-streaming LCS? Oh yeah, I guess I didn't. I guess I did not make an announcement about that on stream. I like put it on YouTube and in my Discord server and stuff, but yeah. Watch the LCS split alongside some of your favorite creators, official co-streamers, Psychopathic Poro, right there. Official LCS co-streamer. Dyer's Azir Cinema. Yeah, I think that Dyer's Azir, like... Dude, if I ever have to watch Dyer play Azir ever again, I think I will just, like, cry on stream. I will just break down sobbing. Tears of pain and agony. Feel sorry for everybody who watches LCS by choice. Yeah, but the problem is that I live in North America, so it's kind of like the region that's the easiest for me to watch, so I usually just end up watching it anyway. Poro Te Roy, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, means you have achieved success. Thank you. I am kind of curious. I have no idea what my LCS co-stream viewership might look like.
Và khi Bob Knight đã fail hoàn toàn thì ở khu vực đường trên này đang có một cú đánh từ Loren, anh ta đang muốn khiến cho Histo phải nằm. Khi mà Histo không còn tốc biến nữa, anh ta đang bật cái cổng lên không xua tới với một combo của anh ta. Và ngay lập tức anh ta tìm kiếm được mạng gục.
Because LCP is like at an awkward time zone. Like last season, LCP was at a weird time zone, and it happened at the exact same time as LPL and LCK. And for the Secret Whales versus GAM series, no, not that one. It was Secret Whales versus PSG. That series where Secret Whales versus PSG split 3 playoffs. I got like 133 viewers or some shit. Like, I think I had like 130 viewers on YouTube and then like another 20 or something on Twitch. And then so, like, if that's my viewership for the LCP, I'm curious as to if I'll get more for the LCS or if it'll just be the same thing. Like, I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea if I'm gonna have 50 viewers for LCS or if I'm gonna have like 200, you know? Can't wait for you to co-stream LPL by 2027. I don't know about that one. Because the thing is that if I were to co-stream LPL, I would have to drop LCP. Like, I can't do both. And I don't mind the idea of LCP being like one of my home regions. Like part of the reason why I wanted to co-stream LCP is because LCP started last year, and I think that the idea of being somebody who co-streamed LCP from the very first year is like cool, you know? What time will the LCS co-streams be? It will be on 4 p.m. EST. So 13 and a half hours from now. And the LCS always starts at 4 p.m. every day. Can't wait for you to co-stream TCL. Yes, I will co-stream Misa Esports and watch Hype and Slow Q gap everybody. That's what I'll do with my time. Do you think Varus top is viable? Hasn't there been like this Varus top build floating around where you can go like Dusk and Dawn? Like AP Varus top is back or something? That's what I've been hearing. Nocturne's trying to ult this, by the way. This could actually be dangerous for Secret Whales if they're not careful. Oh! Oh! He's dizzy! Oh my gosh. Outplayed. Why is Volibear going the 2 balls build? Isn't that just like a thing? Aren't players like addicted to just stacking Kindle Gems and then buying a bunch of Kindle Gem items? Because he's got tier, so I'm assuming one of those Kindle Gems is turning into Fimbulwinter. And then what would the other Kindle Gem turn into? Is it the AP item, the Cosmic Drive or whatever? Is he going Cosmic Drive Fimbulwinter? Is that his build? It's because the build path for Dusk and Dawn is so ass. Oh, he's going Dusk and Dawn? Really? Is that also at it? Wait. I didn't think that item gave health. Man, I don't know shit about Dusk and Dawn. I would have thought he was just going Cosmic Drive Fimbulwinter. Dusk and Dawn is Kindle Gem, Dagger, Sheen, Blasting Wand. Oh, okay, maybe he's doing that then. Like that and Fimbulwinter. Is this vegan Nocturne I'm watching right now? Pop 9 has been suspicious at best, is what we'll say. In the first matches that Deep Cross has played, I think that Pop 9 is definitely Deep Cross's worst player. Dusk and Dawn is the greatest item Riot ever created. Dusk and Dawn is certainly an item of all time. Genji 20 DK today? Question mark. I'll say this. I think the better DK does against Genji, the more exciting it will be for the region. I would love to see DK make it a series, but yeah, I mean, I've probably predicted Genji 2-0. They should bring back Gore Drinker and show them a real item. True. Okay. Dire's stalling. Enemy team threw everything at him, and Secret Whales got Dragon. It's fine. But yeah, actually I'm kind of wondering about Gore Drinker, because I remember back when it came out, I was like a Gore Drinker hater. I thought that item was really weak. I was one of the people who was like back when Prowler's Claw still had the dash, I was one of the people who was adamant that like every Gore Drinker champion should just go Prowler's Claw instead. But I'm wondering if I would still think that now. Like, I have no way to know, unless I went back and I rewatched like the entire pro season of like 2023 or something, but yeah, because like most of the champions that would build Gore Drinker were champions that had sustain built into their kit if they did damage, like champions like Kayn and Aatrox and stuff, and I was always adamant that you would get more value if you went Prowler's Claw, because champions who sustain based on the damage they deal are effectively tankier if they deal more damage. So, because Prowler's Claw gave like 36 base lethality or some shit, like from the Mythic passive, I was always saying that Prowler's Claw is the best rush item on those types of champions, but I don't know if I would still think that, because I definitely value flat health more. Like, I definitely value anti-burst in pro play more now than I did a couple years ago.
Tia truy kích bắn ra, Eddie hỗ trợ cho Histo ăn nốt con sứ giả này. Và bên phía team Square họ hoàn toàn có thể để dành con sứ giả cái nước này, áp lực vào trụ một đường giữa khi mà con rồng tiếp theo xuất hiện trong 3 phút nữa.
Đây vẫn đang là khoảng thời gian mà cả hai bên đều đang khá chill khi vẫn chưa.
What is Histo building, by the way?
Chỉ trừ một trường hợp là cái tắt đèn.
He has a tunneler in his inventory. Is he going Edge of Night for the spell shield against like Nocturnal or something?
Để giúp cho cái chiêu cuối của bóp này có thể hồi.
I don't know if I've like necessarily seen that before.
Đánh vô cùng một báo hai thế giới được bật lên. Histo đang tới cầu.
Like, I guess it's fine, but normally the second item I've been seeing on Jace is like a lot of Bastion Breaker, I think is the main item. Unending Despair into Fimbulwinter for the top laner. That was a build at one point, yeah. I don't know if it's too AFK though. I wonder if it's going to get to a point where the entire enemy team will just attempt to ignore him.
Quay trở về chủ đề cũ, trụ đầu tiên hình như là ở khu vực đường dưới và TSW là đội bị mất cái trụ đó. Bây giờ họ đang đáp trả bằng cách là
How was Ares's Azir yesterday? He had like one ugly ultimate, but it actually wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't a dire Azir, okay? It wasn't. It wasn't no dire or Katya Azir. It was certainly better than that. Dire's champion pool is somehow the same to Zeka's. Zeka can actually play Azir, that's the difference. Dire's champion pool... Yeah, Zeka can play Azir and Dire can play Orianna. That's like the main difference, but other than that, yeah, it's very similar. Akali, Sylas, Ahri, stuff like that. Zeka can play stuff. Now, he can play it decently, but it's like there's still like a significant difference if you get Zeka on Yone versus if Zeka is stuck on like a regular control mage. Where it's like if you get Dire on his champions, he's actually really good, but then if you put Dire on Azir, he will just solo sprint the entire game. Or you can put Dire on Galio and he will find a way to get solo killed in every single matchup. Or you can put him on Aurora at Worlds 3 times and then he can have like 7 CS a minute and lose every lane. You know?
Hoặc có thể nói rằng đây là một pha tâm lý chiến với Sto, anh ta cho đối phương thấy rằng là tôi bắn cũng không chuẩn lắm đâu. Nó có thể là một cái gì đó để cho Deep Cross Gaming họ hơi chủ quan một chút. Và nếu như mà liên hệ nói xa xôi
I still blame Null for that, by the way.
Ở đây có một pha tốc biến lên ủi vai muốn bắt vào người Eddie. Sứ giả Van Quyết đẩy văng Alistar ra, Eddie đang cố gắng tìm đường về. Có hoang tưởng mở ra nhưng Pop9 không dám lao vào khi mà đó là dịch chuyển được dùng ra đến từ Pool. Đấu đầu lao vào gia tranh. BE hất cùng được 3 người mà Pool.
You know, I have a question. Has Pop9 made a single good play in any of the 3 series Deep Cross has played? I genuinely don't know. He followed the Bard play on mid-tier 1 well. Yeah, but has he ever made a decision for himself that turned out well? Because I can't remember any. Like, at the very least, I feel like Pop9, every single time Deep Cross has lost a game, Pop9 has played really badly. The 9 stands for his ranking in terms of impact. That's crazy, considering there's 9 junglers in the region, and one of them hasn't played a single game yet. We're ranking... That's so funny. We're ranking SOFM over Pop9. Let's go. The 9 stands for L9. Alright, well then riddle me this. His name used to be 665. What did those numbers mean?
Họ bị vội, tức là họ cứ lao vào nhưng họ không chắc sai là đằng sau lưng của Eddie còn ai, nó khiến cho Pop9 bị nhát. Anh ta ngại là nếu như anh ta lao vào xong đâu ra một con gấu nó lù lù tới nó tát vào mặt của mình thì coi như toan luôn. Nhưng bởi vì cái tình huống ngại đó nó khiến cái tắt đèn của Bob Knight.
Okay, Dyer kind of outplayed himself there. I think he just did the Aurora classic of flashing into the Aurora ult.
Màn hình nhỏ đi, màn hình nhỏ.
6th for winter, 6th for spring, 5th for summer. Wait, but they won. They won summer, hold up. It's his peak LP. Oh, interesting. So, in season 15, his peak LP was 665, and in season 16, his peak LP is pop 9. I understand. Wait, that actually, wait, okay. I didn't clock this until just now, but you have to be joking, because there's no way that a pro player in tier 1's LP peak is 665. That's... that completely flew over my head when you said that. Is Dyer an off-brand version of Cream? You guys are acting like Dyer doesn't have the potential to be better than Cream and Zeka, come on. It's his second year. He's got this, he's gonna become the GOAT. Potential man mid lane. That's what I'm saying, yeah. That's what I was saying last year too. He's literally just potential man. It's like that you could make the potential man meme template. You could say you could say stuff like, one day he'll be the best VCS mid laner. He will be the VCS mid laner who will finally bring us international success, and then the 007 can be like zero impact on 0 lanes won on international stage, 0 impact in big moments, 7 games thrown, you know. Will he ever reach the coveted status of Larson, the world's greatest paycheck stealer? Okay, in Larson's defense, he was actually good for like 2 years and made a Worlds quarterfinals. You have the same passion for him as I do for Leader. Oh, I also think that Leader's potential, man. I'm a big Leader fan. I really want Leader to do well. Like, I feel like Leader gets way too much hate. Like, in week 1, he played a really good Victor game, a really good Rise game, and then he ran it down on Aurelion Sol, and all I'm seeing online is Leader does not belong in the LEC. Look how badly he ran it down on Aurelion Sol. He's a terrible fit for the LEC. Like, okay. Nice. Wake up, bro. We need adamantium gear in Skyblock Isles. Dude, I want to play the Skyblock Isles alpha test so bad, but I'm just like, I'm so busy. I never have time for anything. Is the build just buy balls and hope for the best? Yes, I've been telling you. That's like a genuine pro play build on champions who can do it. You just stack Kindle gems. Like, you stack as many Kindle gems as you were planning on buying in your full build, and then you just buy the items out of Kindle Gem, because Kindle Gem is like a very gold efficient item. It's like similar to how some AP champions used to go the book build, where you, like back when Fiendish Codex was broken, you would just stack Fiendish Codexes and then build items out of that. It's like the tank version of that. Also, random question, was Baus the one who invented the book build? I feel like, in my head, that's what I remember, but I don't actually know if somebody did it before him. Have you seen Anal Bead Cassante? Oh my gosh, do you guys remember back when, there was like that short stint of time, it was like, it only lasted maybe a month, but there was a short stint of time where people found out that Vi had the highest base health regen in the game, and it was back when Rejuve Bead only cost 150 gold. So people were going Vi mid with triple anal beads, and that was the build. It was just triple anal bead Vi mid, and then she was just like unkillable. It was the funniest shit ever. And then they immediately nerfed the shit out of it.
Ôi đai quả này đang muốn bắt COC nhưng mà tôi cảm giác nên ngưng lại bởi vì vẫn chưa có nhiều thông
That was so fire. Back when that was a build, I did the same thing but with set. I went triple anal bead set mid. Riot employee checking the co-stream triple anal bead 5 mid. Yeah, yeah, we're getting some real value out of these co-streaming rights.
Thì còn có cơ hội đó. Chứ với Deep Cross Gaming với đội hình như thế này họ đã thuần khó trong việc là gây sát thương rồi. Thì để có thể làm được nhiều điều kỳ diệu hơn nó hầu như là không thể trước một đội hình lao vào quá mạnh mẽ đến từ bên phía của TSW.
Oh cool, so this means Kindle Gem will eventually be nerfed. Dude, Kindle Gem has needed to be nerfed since like season 11. Like, do you guys remember the Moonstaff build? Back when Moonstone worked differently and you could go Moonstone Staff with Flowing Water and it was like the most OP shit in existence? Yeah, that build had Kindle Gems in it and it was like you would always rush the Kindle Gem. Like, Kindle Gem has just been a ridiculously strong component for half a decade. Lock in, Secret Whales are only 12k gold ahead. Shit, this is true. I've seen them throw worse. They could still lose. Eddie can still ult into the fountain and kill himself. It's never too late for Secret Whales to throw a game somehow.
Đó là điều không thể á, tại vì bây giờ họ tranh chấp là team Swell sẽ bỏ Baron đấm người. Họ không có ngại về câu chuyện đó, cái họ cần là cái cớ bay vào đánh tóc biến chạy đi sứ giả bước.
Okay, they're diving on Jace, they're one-shotting Jace. It's happening, they're throwing. Oh man, Eddie's too strong. That's sad. KT threw a 15k lead. I haven't watched the KT throw yet, but I can't imagine it's worse than the G2 13k gold lead throw. That was something special. When G2 threw that shit, that was a generational throw. Don't watch it. You know, it's been 24 hours. Let's watch it. I think I can pull it up on stream because it's been 24 hours since the game happened. I will watch the ending of KT versus T1 Game 2 right now.
Are you going to give last pick to Perfect, and then Carrier still might get counter pick? Because that doesn't actually solve what was the problem last time.
Alright, let's see what we got going on here.
Yeah.
He's full health.
Okay,
That is such a
so
beautiful statement.
this is the part where people are talking about, where KT is up like 15-1, Paze's gun rotation is fucked.
Yeah.
KT half soul, Elder Dragon is spawning, they're 12k up.
I'd probably say owner.
Yeah, Owner just says it is what it is.
I think if there's one guy on the team that's saying it is what it is, it's owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the classic. Paze going fucking blue-white, my favorite.
Being 0-2. Just
We love blue-white.
walking around, farming, and doing nothing else.
Oh, dude, I swear, this is like...
what it is. Hopefully I'm not playing Mundo
It's
in
like
game
it's
3.
like the Aphelios bubble. Like, we have to just wait for the blue-white bubble to pop. I swear it's shit. There's no way this is going to become like a thing.
Not doing damage. It's true T1 leave their base.
I fell asleep.
Thing you picked up since you became a father.
My eyes are open, but I'm not actually awake. And, I mean, Cuz gonna get the flash at a pace. That's what you gotta do. Have his flashback. Might need to use it here if he doesn't want to die. He's just gonna throw his ult up and say this is good enough.
Okay, he tanked
Walks
it.
it
Nice.
off. Yeah.
Okay.
Shook it off. He just said it is what it is, and he just he just powered through it. I like that energy.
Yeah.
He's full health again.
They're just waiting. They're just waiting for KT to actually try to break the base. And this time, 2v1 on a Doran, maybe, but they're just going to hit the turrets instead.
He has GA and passive, so he's really hard to kill. But,
Yeah.
you know, unfortunately the tower isn't.
Alright, one inhib down.
Game.
2 inhibs down. That last inhib, they really need to defend that. Because if they lose that and KT just get the Baron, the Elders doesn't even matter. They can just...
Well, I feel like KT, well, they...
Getting flashbacks so that we need
Alright, let's see. We're hitting the Baron right now.
Did he... They've left their base. You know, they go around the rift. They got some...
Dorn's there with think 13,000 gold is enough for KT. Do you think they have a lead?
See, I was told that they had a massive gold lead and the Elder. I wasn't told that they also had Baron buff. That makes it even worse.
Owner's kind of tanky. He is going to get rooted up. BDD on the flank here. Very nice angle, but they are going to spot him. The engage comes in from Doran, aiming is kind of just
Okay, Doran's trying to go in. Rico is pretty terrible. Wait, Owner got the Elder. Wait, I was told that KT got the Elder.
How are they winning? There's no way.
Wait, hold up. I was told something completely different happened.
Owner's kind of tanky. He is gonna get rooted up.
Don't worry, it goes to second. It goes to second Elder. Okay, so let's see this team fight.
Gonna get rooted up. BDD on the flank here. Very nice angle, but
so yeah, Doran goes in. Ghost's ult is kind of shit here.
But the wallets are so heavy as Owner gets the drink. They're down 13.
What does aiming do in this fight?
The flank here. Very nice angle, but they are going to spot him. The engage
Yeah, I mean, aiming is just like mega chunked.
Kind of just out of their pace. McHale's comes in, a big sweep from Faker, but the wallets are so heavy as Owner gets the drink. They're down 13k. How are they winning? There's no way. He just killed aiming. There's no way. Okay, Owner's just going in, and this is so dumb. How at the
On the number, look at that from that T3 kill.
Got interrupted there. This inhibitor is definitely going down. So props to Perfect.
Amy makes sure to run away from the second one. I mean, he did get flashed on by Zahen.
Need to resort to some shenanigans.
And chunked for like 70% of his health.
Second inhibitor here. Faker's still trying to clear the wave.
What is going on? But a time before. Yeah. Started ATS stock. Gold. Fake it.
Pretty far away.
He's working
what number? Yeah.
Objective hat about it. It's great. All that gold. He was probably only going to use. He can still back. No.
Charted 41.5.
All right, we're getting to the second Elder.
Well, he can't hear you, Dan, but it's okay.
KT are only up 6k now.
We got a TP coming in, and he's got 2 reses available. As now they're trying to take a fight here. Pace does not care about Cuz right now. Has to flash away. And now the 2v2 on the bottom side. Flash comes in on a Faker. He's getting pretty low. Go Sonya's! And Perfect wants the knock. Goes BDD! As his Sonya's ended second, so they're able to time the damage.
That's actually a nice Sonya's from Azir.
The T1 Baron is looking pretty good. We got TP coming out here. From Doran, because Faker's gonna die! Oh, please, Owner. It is what it is, he says. And now they're just gonna run towards the Elder, spawning in 5. But we have a flank coming out here. They're trying to actually win with this flank and maybe try to get on top of Paze, but I don't know if they can. Doran trying to get away, and I think he's just gonna go down. There it is, they're looking for the flank. The Wild Growth comes out, perfect flash from
Paze flashed out, not bad.
It out. And now KT has to back away. This Aphelios too scary. And they want to set.
Don't remind you of getting the T1. They just missed this time. Well, perhaps.
Okay, so they get the Elder. I'm assuming this is where like the crazy team fight where I hear that Cuz, Aiming, and Ghost all just run it down. I'm assuming this is where it happens. See, I was under the impression that when this fight happened, they were still up like 15k gold, but they had already thrown at this point.
Cuz, yeah, you have Elder, but you don't have everybody here. And it's like we're playing hot potato right now. KT can't hold on to this thing.
Yeah, I mean, Cuz is Warmogs. Well, actually, I don't know if he has Warmogs. Maybe he doesn't.
Is now in their hands and bouncing around, and T1
but he's healing a lot anyway.
Are desperately trying to grab it away. All right, well, Aiming's able to push down that Azir turret in the bottom side. We still have 2 inhibitors up. And 3 minutes on the top one. Paze has so much protection with McHale's, with Lulu, level 18, shields for days.
They're just going to get triple inhibbed.
Yes, they are going to get triple inhibbed.
Okay, that's not good. But the Super Minion's going to take a while to come in. Paze.
He wants to try to engage on Aiming, who does have his flash, and Paze does not, so that's what they were looking for. The peel back here on a Perfect. He's going to have to dash away. Okay, and eventually this Elder is going to it's gonna time out.
I mean, it is kind of hard to siege because like they probably can't really use the Elder to poke or anything. Like she just has to dive.
Just before the Elder times out. Oh, it's tight timing.
All right, they're trying to make it a game here, but Cuz
I mean, Cuz goes in and ends. I mean, I'll have to look at it again because it did look like KT were just losing even before that happened.
As the Aphelios ult is gonna miss, but Ghost is
okay, Ghost was really bad.
Ghost Sonya's on the backside, he can't do the damage, Paze is alive!
Yeah, I don't think they can win this fight, by the way.
I mean, they're pretty fast. They might touch just before the elder.
Like, okay, if we look at the like, okay, maybe I'm just tripping, but like, if I'm looking at the situation, like, Akali is useless, so she can't do shit until like a fight actually starts. She's just AFK. So KT are essentially sieging 4v5 with no Baron. Like, they have Elder, but they don't have anybody who can poke with it. Like, if Perfect can maybe throw like burrowed Qs at people, but that's not going to do anything significant. If aiming ever walks up to auto attack, he's just getting shuffled. Or at least he's getting his flash blown.
Fast. They might touch just before the elder times out. Oh, it's
like how do they? I don't really necessarily get how they.
Alright, they're trying to make it.
Because like the other thing is like Cuz. Look at the way that aiming is playing. I think Cuz only goes in here because aiming pressed W and he's running at them. Like, I think that Cuz thought that that was like a go signal.
Make it, a game here, but Cuz, it's just...
But yeah, like, can they even win this fight?
Alright, they're trying to make it.
Like, who can Cuz ult? Because Faker is Zanya's, right?
Oh, it's tight timing.
So like, if Cuz rockets the ult at Faker, he's just gonna Zanya's it. And then Paze is going to chunk Sejuani for like half of her health. BDD still can't do shit here, by the way. If he goes in, he gets polymorphed. Yeah, I don't know. It just looks hard. I actually don't think that this is that egregious. Like, I think their comp is just kind of shit. Like, I think that the... Yeah, I don't know. If KT doesn't have Baron, I don't think they can really end. Like, to me, the way more egregious throw is the one that happens here.
That is the thing. For KT.
Like, this is the one that really bothers me.
I have no idea. Owner's kind of tanky. He is going to get rooted up. BDD on the flank here. Very nice.
Like, I guess it's...
Owner's kind of tanky. He is going to get rooted up.
I don't know if this is, like, bad positioning from aiming. I don't know if, like, Sejuani could walk to controlled line brush, like this line brush more. Like, I would assume that the best way for them to play this is that Sejuani and Rek'Sai would have to walk in and try to control line brush, but Rek'Sai is late.
I have no idea. Isn't
like, okay, what happened with this bot wave? Why is this bot wave not pushed out?
13,000 gold.
So T1 start the Elder. How did they push out bot wave?
I guess he felt BDD is
best of 5. We gotta lock in.
Okay, well, so like they're pushing.
Is one of the slowest.
Wait, so this game is like actually BDD's fault. Like, okay, yesterday I was like joking, by the way. Because like, I was joking, but like I feel like BDD was the one who compromised their position here.
Thinking that they're back on that stage.
Because look at where he tries to recall.
We gotta lock in.
We gotta lock in. It's super
Like,
serious.
the reason why this Elder situation is so hard is because BDD gets his base cancelled right here.
Did he need to teleport out?
And then he just like tries to emergency TP out.
Did he need to teleport
and then because BDD's position got compromised, T1 push out bot wave, and then they have the inner tractor dragon, and then so they just start hitting the Elder Dragon. And there's like nowhere good for Perfect to actually TP in. Like, the way that they would have to play this is that they would have to push out bot, and then the Rek'Sai and the Sejuani can try to control line brush, and then they can use their gold lead to force T1 out.
Do you think they have a lead enough?
But like the Rek'Sai is just late, and the bot wave is not pushed, so they don't actually have a way to control space here.
I have no idea. Owner's kind of tanky. He is gonna get rooted up. BDD on the flank here. Very nice angle, but they are.
Like, it looks egregious that aiming gets flashed on here by Doran and gets chunked for like most of his health, but realistically, what is he supposed to, like, okay, so if aiming wants to not get flashed on here, he has to play with Cuz. Like, the idea would be that, but like, how do you even walk, like Yunara can't walk through here. So what is the play? Does she have to like go up to Banana Brush and walk all the way around and connect through Tri? Like, this seems like a very complicated situation, and the only reason why this is complicated is because T1 pushed out bot and we're first on Dragon. And the only reason why that happened was because BDD based in a terrible spot and got his recall cancelled.
He is gonna get rooted up.
Like, this just looks like a weird situation to play, because there's no good way for Emi to connect with his team other than walking the long way around. Like, I guess what you have to do as KT is stop hitting the Elder. Aiming has to walk the long way around, and then they wait for Perfect to TP in, and then Sejuani and Rek'Sai walk into Line Brush, and you try to take control of Line Brush, and you just hope that T1 didn't one-shot the Elder while you're doing all of that.
Flank here. Very nice angle, but they are going to spot on the engage.
But, like, once they didn't do that, which is not an easy call to make in the moment, by the way. It's this very hard call to make in the moment. Once they didn't do that, it's like pretty much borderline impossible for Aiming to actually play the game. Now there's some other stuff here, like Ghost has flash up and he's just like, and his ult is terrible.
Tweet from Faker, but the wallets are so heavy.
Yeah, and then they just get the Elder. Like, I don't know. I think that T1 played this about as well as they possibly could have, and then KT made a few big mistakes, but yeah. Honestly, the Elder Dragon in their base with 3 inhibs down, I think that's a little bit overstated because they were only up 4k and their comp is like turbo outscaled by that point. There's nobody on their team who can actually siege. There's nobody on their team who can hit and poke and use the Elder. So they're essentially sieging 4v5 without Baron. Like, I think it's very hard for them to end the game there unless they find a way to just dive under Nexus turrets. And then the other big throw was at that Elder, and I think that a lot of it was actually just BDD being caught with his pants down bot lane. Like, I don't know.
Talia trận này để mà nói thì gần như là không còn con nào để có thể đi kèo với Talia mà làm meta được cả. Thế nên tôi nghĩ nên là Talia first pick dành cho Deep Cross.
Hear me out on this. Dusk and Dawn Sejuani, she can stun faster. That is a build, by the way. People have been going Dusk and Dawn Sejuani top. And if you W auto somebody, you just instantly proc your passive. Why are we first picking Aphelios? That's crazy. Is there anything to punish this? Like, Jarvan is out too, right? Malphite is out, Jarvan is out. I mean, like, if a team did this to me, I would just go, like, Ashe Seraphine or some shit. Are they gonna go Corki Nami?
Anh ta là một người chơi mà thuần đánh carry, thế nên quyết định là chơi Corki, tôi nghĩ là lựa chọn không tồi. Và lấy luôn cả Saiyan đường trên, dành cho Pool.
Think you can go Corki Nami or Lucian Braum? I do not think you can go Lucian Braum. I think if you go Lucian Braum and then enemy team goes Aphelios Lulu, you are not happy with that matchup. Will Fong have good gun rotation? Fong had a good gun rotation the last time he played Aphelios. He's the only Aphelios in the LCP who's actually had a good gun rotation. Marble and Kakun also played Aphelios and they both screwed it up, but Fong's rotation was good. Yeah, no, I'm not convinced that... See, this is my problem, is there's no good support you can go into Nico. Like, Corki Nico seems like a very oppressive lane. Same thing, honestly, I think that, like, Corki Nami is, like, also fine into Aphelios Lulu. But I think if you go Lucian Braum, you just get cooked by the Lulu in the 2v2, and then Aphelios gets to scale for free. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Secret Whales, this is not a free lane. They like, have to push their advantage somehow. I think it's winning for Lucian Braum. I think there's no way a Braum lane can ever be winning into a Lulu lane. That seems crazy to me. Because, like, the other thing that you have to consider is that, like, Lucian Braum have to really win that lane. Aphelios, like, I'm of the opinion that Lucian scales way harder than people think that it does, but I also think there's no way that you get enough value out of Lucian Braum that you're outscaling an Aphelios Lulu. Now, I think that if Deep Cross had, like, blind picked Aphelios Thresh or something, then you have more options. Then maybe you can go Lucian Braum or something, or you can go, like, a Mel lane, or a Blitz lane or something. The value is you right-click every Drake. I'm still not convinced that Braum gets pushed against Lulu in the 2v2.
Rồi Zorik cũng là lựa chọn không tồi. Ở trong phiên bản cập nhật hiện tại thì con bài A-Chop được boost cái độ tại của mình là được tăng thêm cái sát thương phần trăm máu từ 8 đến 10% máu cho đến 10 đến 12% máu. Tôi nghĩ là khá là
Like, I think that the way that Secret Whales drafted is actually better. I think that the way you punish Aphelios Lulu is by getting a support that outranges them and can poke them.
Nhưng đừng quên là Coste bị counter.
Whether it's like a Karma lane, an Eco lane, or a Seraphine lane, you can do whatever.
Họ có muốn pick cuối đường trên không?
Like that's what I would do if they went Aphelios blind, I would just go Ash Seraphine.
Lựa chọn của họ ở trong phase này có thể pick top chứ cũng được, dấu mid cũng là lựa chọn tầm tầm.
Because like I think if enemy team goes like Aphelios Blitz or Aphelios Pike or something, you don't actually care that much.
4 vị tướng mid ban ở trong cái ván thiêu thứ 3.
And if they go Aphelios Lulu or Aphelios Thresh, they just get massacred.
Còn Victor cũng là một vị tướng có khả năng phối hợp ở tranh rất là tốt cùng với lại Corki và Nico.
Victor đường giữa. Đi kèo Victor hiện tại thì không còn nhiều tướng nữa. Và Syndra sẽ là lựa chọn ổn nhất rồi với sải tay dài của mình. Những cú quét tay kiểu có thể counter khả năng lao vào của đối phương.
Okay, Syndra into Victor.
Nhưng cảm giác cái đội hình của Dipros hơi mỏng một chút. Hiện tại thì còn Rek'Sai đường trên là một tướng chống chịu khá là.
This is kind of dangerous. I wonder if there's a pick that can punish the Aphelios and the Syndra both having no mobility. Like, what top blinds would be good here? Like Ornn, maybe? Like, Ornn probably has value this game. This could be a really good Zehen game, by the way. I mean, like, the Gwen matchup's not fantastic, but you could definitely go something like Zehen if you wanted to. You could find value out of the pick. I think more realistically, a better pick here would be like Jax, probably. Olaf is decent. Eh, I don't like it. Like, he just counterpicked himself. Like, Gwen outscales on side lane super hard. I don't really see what Cassante does into polymorph either. I think you have to go either like a flanking champion to punish the double immobiles. So you go something like Jax, or you go Olaf, and then you can just like try to run them down. Hello, Kenna.
Đường giữa sải tay dài đến từ Syndra, đường dưới thì Aphelios cũng có một cái sải tay dài tốt, cũng như là Lulu cũng là một cặp bài trùng để đi kèo với.
Yeah, I like Secret Whales' bot lane, but I feel like they butchered the top side a bit. Like, we're playing Cassante into Gwen and Victor into Syndra now.
Và ngay bây giờ hãy cùng với chúng tôi đến ngay với những diễn biến ở trong ván đấu thứ 3 để xem rằng TSW hay là Dipros Gaming sẽ đội có được chiến thắng chung cuộc ở trong tập.
I mean, maybe Victor can beat Syndra. I haven't seen that matchup. Victor might actually be one of the champions who can beat Syndra in lane. Like, most of the other mages just lose to Syndra by default, but I haven't seen the Victor matchup, and I know that Victor can be oppressive in lane.
DCG để xem là ván thi đấu thứ 3 này ai sẽ đội định đoạt chung cuộc khi mà cả hai đội đều đã có được những ván khởi đầu cực kỳ suôn sẻ.
Team Secret Wales và Relove DCG lôi nhau đến ván 3 để tìm xem ai mới là anh cả. Và tôi cảm thấy rằng là Team Secret Wales họ đang pick một cái đồ hình có khá nhiều chống chịu ở ván thi đấu thứ 3, nhưng
But does Dire know how to play Victor though? You know what? Here's the take, okay? We're saying that Dire is a carbon copy of Cream, right? We're saying that Dire is LCP Cream. Cream can play Victor. Victor has always been one of Cream's best mages. Like back like 4 years ago or something, when Cream was truly a melee one trick, like when he could only play Sylas, Akali, Yone, and nothing else, the one ranged champion he could play was Victor. So if Dire is the Vietnamese reincarnation of Cream, then he will be able to play Victor.
Hongsu đã phải ấn cho mình một cái bình máu đầu tiên. Đài lúc đó vẫn bình chân như vậy. Anh ta chỉ cần hồi lại cái quy, anh ta sẽ di chuyển lên và liên tục cấu quy vào người Hongsu. Có luôn cho mình triệu hồi Eri, đảm bảo rằng là cái khả năng cấu rỉa ở những cấp độ đầu tiên là sẽ cực kỳ tốt. Ở đây có 2v2, Phân đã mở cho mình cả tốc hành, muốn quay ngược trở lại và trả sát thương vào người Eddie và BE, nhưng Phân mất máu cũng khá nhiều. Đồng ý ta sẽ có cái súng huyết tinh để có thể hồi lại cho mình cái lượng máu nhất định.
Mấu chốt lớn nhất là Phân mất phép bổ trợ trong Eddie thì không. Khu vực đường trên này thì tỷ lệ solo kill tốc biến lên cắt lấy.
Alright, we picked this matchup, by the way. We picked Cassante into Gwen. This was by design. We did this intentionally.
nhưng anh ta chỉ là trao đổi phép bổ trợ và Bull vẫn còn cái tiềm năng để lên cấp độ 3, cấp độ 4 rất là lẹ. Chính như vậy mà ta sẽ không lo.
But like, I think if you're just gonna pick a tank that loses into Gwen, it's so much better to go Ornn here, because Ornn is really strong in this game. But like, I don't understand the Cassante pick. I feel like there were like 3 or 4 better champions you could have gone here.
Đã được tính toán để có thể khắc chế một phần nào đó, còn Cassante SD mở lá chắn để cản bớt cái lượng sát thương đến từ phân. Và
Cassante is the pro play champion. You have to pick him if you're picking a tank. True.
Hơi khó rồi.
Xua gặp quả kèo khó, và cái kèo này thật ra nếu như đánh về lâu về dài thì nó cũng không phải là kèo ổn dành cho Syndra, tại vì khúc sau cái đá vĩnh hằng là lên đầu, có thể là lên đầu tiên dành cho Đai. Nó chưa biết nhé, chưa biết là anh ta sẽ lên chuỗi trang bị như nào, nhưng thường đối đầu với những kèo thi đấu mà dồn sát thương thì cứ đá vĩnh hằng trước rồi sau đó...
I think it's so interesting that tier 1 pro play hasn't picked up on AP junglers, by the way. Like, I don't get it. I think the AP junglers are really good right now. We have seen no tier 1 Diana, no tier 1 Gwen jungle, I don't think. We haven't seen any Lilia who got buffed. We haven't seen any Nidalee. Well, we've seen some Nidalee. But, yeah, we haven't seen, like, any Volibear either.
Xin giao trong tay Histo sẽ lên cấp 6 sớm hơn khi mà ta cướp được 2 bãi quái rừng của đối phương, vẫn giữ được cho mình đó là một con cua.
But like, I think all these champions are actually playable right now. And not just playable, I think they're strong. Like, anybody who's been following my team's scrims would know that we're actively, like, first picking Diana and shit. Same thing with Udyr. I think Udyr's really strong too. Even, like, first picking Diana, first picking Gwen. Udyr Mundo answers into Malphite, Diana answer into Jace. Like, there's... The AP junglers kind of slot in really well with the meta right now. Like, unironically, one of the reads that my team has is that if the enemy team blind picks a control mage and we have an AP jungler, we can just go Kiana counterpick. Like, Kiana mid counterpick. Because her matchups are good, she pairs well with most of the AP junglers, so that's like a playable AD mid into what's meta that like makes the AP jungler stronger.
Vâng, anh ta B về sớm hơn và lần này anh ta sẽ bổ sung cho mình một tí cái lượng trang bị với những cái món trang bị đầu tiên anh ta cầm ra thì cũng có thể sẽ phối hợp cùng với là Pop9 mang về cho mình con rồng đầu tiên khi mà Pantheon cũng là một con tướng có khả năng ăn được cùng những cái mục tiêu sớm từ rất tốt. Ở đường giữa thì Đai đúng như anh Trung nói thì có vẻ như là Đai anh ta sẽ hướng lên cho mình cái chuyện trường sinh rồi khi mà anh ta về nhà cầm cho mình một cái cục hồng ngọc ra bổ sung lượng máu để có thể
80 junglers is better than one True. I didn't... Why have I never heard that before? I've never seen anybody say that before.
Khúc này Bull phải xử lý lính lẹ nha, chứ hồi lên xe chỉ luồn kim xong mệt á, xe chuồn kim đây bắt đầu ép kìa, bắt đầu vô cái thế ép rồi, không cho Foxy lính nữa, bắt đầu là dấu hiệu ép đến từ Loren để có thể khiến cho Bull phải rời xa khỏi đợt lính mà anh ta đang muốn Foxy ở khu vực đường trên này. Còn trong cái đó thì ở đường giữa, Đai đã tung ra chiêu cú giải quyết đợt lính và anh ta sẽ có thể chạy về để tìm kiếm thêm những cơ hội còn lại ở trong giai đoạn sắp tới với cái chuỗi trang bị tiếp theo của mình. Để xem đang suy nghĩ à. Ok, đã thêm cây gậy nữa dành cho Đai ở trong giai đoạn này. Cây gậy quá khổ sẽ giúp cho không, xin lỗi bạn. Tôi quên mất cây gậy này rồi, như là gậy bùng nổ đấy vậy, gậy bùng nổ. Nó giúp cho anh ta sẽ có thêm một lượng sát thương về khả năng chạy. Hình như là anh ta đang tự tin rằng là anh ta né được kỹ năng của đối phương. Chính vì vậy mà anh ta không cần phải lên thêm cái hồng ngọc hay là một cái gì đó nữa để gia tăng khả năng phòng thủ mà anh ta muốn chạy thẳng.
No lie, for a decade before you ever played League, your friends would always talk about an 80 carry and you never understood why there's 80 of them.
Kiểm soát được con cua nửa dưới của bản đồ. Có vẻ như là con rồng đầu tiên hai bên cũng chưa quá mặn mà, nhưng mà những cái nhịp di chuyển ra đến từ BE ra khu vực đường giữa một phần nào đó hỗ trợ Đai.
That was funny as shit.
Nhưng ở đằng sau phân còn đó là
We have Guri Zyra, yeah, but that's like a pocket pick. He always plays that shit. By the way, I think playing Zyra into Jace is super fake. I have no idea how Guri got away with that.
cái nhịp trao đổi. Có vẻ như là với việc Dai dẫn trước được Onso ở khu vực đường giữa thì nó mở ra một cái cánh cổng để cho Team Secret Well dễ dàng có con rồng đầu tiên hơn.
Và khi mà Team Secret Well đã có được con rồng đầu tiên của ván thi đấu này rồi thì có lẽ như mọi thứ sẽ mượt hơn dành cho họ. Còn trong khi đó thì ở khu vực nửa cánh trên, thực ra tôi không nhìn thấy Bull thua luôn ấy chứ. Tại vì 59 so với 60 mà cái kèo này thường con quen nó sẽ có lợi thế rất là lớn. Mà từ nãy giờ vẫn chưa có dấu hiệu về việc là anh ta bị thua về lượng triệu sinh lính thì đây vẫn đang là một kèo ổn. Và chắc chắn rồi, con Casante trong tay của Bull vẫn sẽ liên tục gọi là đi đường chay. Và anh ta sẽ không thể nào có sự hỗ trợ đến từ
Was it Zyra into Wukong? Wait, but I thought he played... I feel like I remember him playing Zyra into Jace. Well, let me go back to the match history. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Đó chính là trước cấp độ 5 và sau đó thì ở cái ngưỡng 1 đồ. Bull anh ta đã làm tốt cái nhiệm vụ đầu tiên rồi, anh ta chỉ cần đánh tốt ở cái ngưỡng 1 đồ nữa là từ đó trở đi con Casante.
Oh no, he did play Zyra into Wukong. I'm just delusional. I'm just making shit up. I'm making shit up that never happened. Nice.
Cô lập được vào người Aphelios trong tay của Vân.
Đã có lần cốt đầu tiên đến từ
We're week 2 into the season, and I'm already delusional. Let's go. This is what happens when you don't sleep for more than like 5 hours in one sitting.
Gia tăng trang bị dành cho Dai, dành cho Casante nhiều hơn. Bởi vì ở trong giai đoạn sau khi mà con Victor này bắt đầu có đồ để có thể gây sát thương, khi mà
-1. Good job, Dyer.
Sau một khoảng thời gian nhất định thì lúc đó sẽ là lúc mà Tidwell có thể thoải mái giao tranh mà không lo ngại lắm là họ sẽ bị ảnh hưởng gì đến từ chất tướng của bên kia chưa tiến. Để dụ quên để chuyện này. Bob Knight nãy giờ chưa có lần trời sập đầu tiên ta. Đây đang muốn ép để xem để không thể sẽ chỉ luồn kim lần nữa và Bob Knight có tốc biến một pha bế tốc biến.
We picked this matchup, by the way. This is our top lane counter pick. Nice, good counter pick. Good R5 pun. Well, I guess it's not even R5. Good second pick. 5. Wait, okay, that's like so weird. How do we... Wait, what? I guess I just have to call it B5. That sounds like shit, but good B5 pun. When we go our last pick, we should get value out of it, and it should win us the game, and that's why we picked Cassante on 5 into Gwen and got solo killed.
Chỉ có điều là ở trong đợt tiếp theo thì sẽ tương đối khó để cho bên phía của DCG có thể tổ chức một pha đánh ở khu vực đường trên này thêm một lần nữa, tại vì không có tốc biến của rừng thì cũng hơi khó khăn tí xíu, và nó cũng sẽ là một thông tin bổ ích ở tương lai cho các cánh khác. Nếu như có trường hợp trời sập thì cái tốc biến sẽ không được tận dụng để có thể kéo ngắn cái.
By the way, DN supers are up 2.5k gold. I think that it would be the funniest timeline if supers won. What do you even do at that point? Do you just blow up the entire roster?
Tiếp tục là đánh nhau thần khí Tofo lần 3. Pool anh ta đã nằm xuống một lần nhưng anh ta không hề nào núng, vẫn thoải mái lao lên và trao đổi sát thương vào người Florence. Khu vực đường dưới vừa rồi thì Eddie đã mất đi cho một cái tốc biến.
You know, I will say this. We saw Florence Gwen in week 1, and he ran it down in lane phase and then was like giga smurfing late game. And he is not running it down in this lane phase, so I'm led to believe that he's in prime position to play really well. I think you spend $10 million to get Viper back? Yeah, but Viper's stock is down too. My sources are telling me that he got mega gapped by Gala and Elk.
Chính vì vậy mà Silvergirl sẽ cần phải tập trung cao độ để cho Eddie càng nhiều lớp khiên càng tốt trước khi mà con rồng ra. Nó sẽ giúp cho Eddie nâng cao thêm cái lượng kinh tế và sẽ giúp cho anh ta có thêm được cái thời gian để gia tăng thêm nguồn trang bị, đặc biệt là cái tam hợp kiếm.
The solution is clearly that HLE has to spend exorbitant amounts of money to get Hans Sama. That's the angle.
Đúng rồi. Đó thì Corki sẽ được tối ưu hóa cái lượng sát thương hơn so với việc là chưa có đồ đầu tiên. Hàm lửa Valkyrie lên đánh luôn khi mà ở đằng sau là có Histo nở hoa. Ôi,
nice ult BA.
Giữ chân ở phía bên ngoài rồi, nhưng mà bên phía Team Secret Well họ bảo rằng chúng tôi vẫn đánh. Phần là người nằm lại Histo có màn và vẫn lui ra được thành công.
Hơn là cái sắn trấu nó gỡ cho đấy nhá. Cái sắn trấu nó gỡ cho trong từ lúc đó đấy, chứ cái quả vừa rồi thật sự.
I mean, honestly, I'm down for HLE to suck. HLE is due for a bad season.
Hỗn loạn quá rồi, nó hỗn chiến quá rồi, bắt Dai. Dai còn tốc biến có sự hỗ trợ từ Histo, bùng nổ sức mạnh được sử dụng. Dai vẫn đang bị kẹt lại, tốc biến ở phía bên này tường và CLC đang chạy vào hỗ trợ cho ta. Histo cũng đang mất máu, ta tốc biến để lùi và Dai vẫn đang né chiêu.
Okay, Dire movement.
Dai vẫn đang bị dí phía bên này.
Wait, Dire's like actually gliding on them right now, by the way. This is why Dire's my fucking goat. Let's go. And this is why Eddie is not my goat. Wait, Eddie Redemption Arc? Maybe he's my goat? No, Eddie's not my goat. Eddie will never be my goat.
Nhưng đã thấy cái lợi của Trường Rừng Sinh như thế nào.
2028 HLE just has Zeus, Owner, Faker, Guma, Carrier. No, what I would be down is for HLE to have Zeus, Owner, Guma, Carrier, and any other mid laner, and then they'll just turbo lose, and they will be exposed for being Faker merchants. Like, all I'm saying is, anybody remember that entire stretch of time where Poby was playing mid, and Poby, like, wasn't even that terrible, and the entire team just imploded on itself, and everybody was playing like shit? Yeah, it's Faker and 4 Sand Soldiers. I mean, like, obviously we can't be calling Carrier a Sand Soldier, but like, I think there's a chance that Owner could go to another team and stink it up, you know? I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. The difference is that we've seen Carrier on another team, and Carrier was good on another team. Like, Carrier was still the best, like, arguably the best support in the league when he was on DRX, so...
pha trao đổi đó tôi đánh giá là lỗ. Họ liên tục để rơi rất nhiều mà hạ gục và tình huống bắt đai cũng không thành công nữa chứ.
Và chúng ta đang mới cách đây 1 phút đồng hồ thôi, chúng ta đang nói về câu chuyện là con Corki của Eddie phải được farm để có đồ, thì anh ta di chuyển ra, anh ta đút túi luôn 2 điểm hạ gục. Bây giờ cái câu chuyện tiền bạc của anh ta không phải nghĩ nữa rồi.
Nó dư xăng, tại vì hồi nãy á là anh ta có.
You know what? I think T1, since they've proven that Guma was not it and was getting carried by Carrier, since that's the narrative now, we should just admit that we were wrong back in 2021 and re-sign Teddy to T1. 2027, Teddy signed to T1. Who's with me?
Mid nguy hiểm nha, Syndra cũng đang gặp vấn đề đấy. Và tôi đang thấy Histo đang chạy xuống bot. Phía bên này thì Dai liên tục trao đổi chiêu thức. Dai đang là người bị nhắm tới và cuối cùng thì họ đã phải bắt Dai thêm lần nữa. Dai đang cố gắng chống chịu lượng sát thương và bot Dai là người có đội mạng của Histo rồi. W không trúng.
So when Faker eventually retires, how fucked is T1? Yeah, it's not gonna look pretty, but he's also not gonna retire for another like 3 years, so it's fine. Faker will just pull the LeBron. He'll still be playing in like 2035 for some reason.
Vẫn đẩy lui được đối phương trong cái giai đoạn 1v1 ở khu vực đường trên này.
Moon từ lúc mà có cái vòng sắt cổ tự là anh ta đánh hộ báo hơn nhiều so với lại thời điểm trước đó, khi mà anh ta liên tục trao đổi chiêu thức không hề ngừng nghỉ và ép cho con quen phía bên kia tiến gặp cực kỳ nhiều vấn đề cho xem pha này. Đây là tình huống mà thực ra Dai tự tin có lý, xin giao đến kế mà.
I mean, like, the question that I'm wondering is, when is Chovy gonna roll swap to top and join T1? Because that's how Chovy wins worlds. You just play top lane with Faker.
Nhưng mà Casante mà ép cho con quen nó phải về bên trong trụ cỡ đó thì công nhận là
just want someone else other than T1 to win world. You know what? I miss when the LPL was the best region. I wish JDG won in 2023 and 2024. That would have made me happy. The LoL esports world was a better place when LPL was the best region.
Tôi nói thẳng luôn, cứ kỹ đây, tại vì chúng ta đánh liên minh, chúng ta đánh răng này, chúng ta đánh xếp hạng á, có nhiều lúc chúng ta tiếc flash hay thiếu một cái gì đó, cái ngồi chúng ta tự nhiên mất 300, mất cái số tiền nhiều như vậy mà đáng lẽ là bạn có thể dùng flash để bạn có thể giữ lại cái số tiền đó. Thì nó rất là oan uổng. Chính vì vậy mà pha tốc biến của đội của Bull là tôi rất là respect cho cái câu chuyện người ta cứu đồng đội ở trong những cái nhịp độ đó. Và bên phía của Sidwell họ vẫn đang ít nhất nha.
But the problem is I don't want BLG to win worlds either. I don't like BLG. BLG is not an org I am fond of. I'm still trying to be careful of what wordage I use when I'm on a co-stream. I'm gonna say BLG is not an org I'm fond of. Like, that's the problem, is I don't even know what LPL team I'd want to win worlds this year. Like, they're all kind of underwhelming options. I guess JDG can win. We can let JDG win worlds. Dude, LNG are not winning worlds with Bulldog. I don't have to, bro. LNG are not even making quarterfinals with Bulldog. Low-key rooting for CFO to win it all last year. Well, JDG is basically just super CFO, so... Also, Gwen just solo killed Cassante again. Once again, to just want to point out that this was our 5th pick. We last picked Cassante. Willing to bet if LNG make worlds, they make quarters. No, I totally could see LNG being a Swiss stage exit. Like, everybody on that team can have stinkers, you know? Except for 1xN. I don't think 1xN's ever had a generationally bad game before. But everybody else on that team could underperform at any given moment. Wait, Pun opted into this 1v1, by the way. He's like trying to push out the wave in Gwen's face. See, but here's the problem, is that I looked more into like all of the different shit that was going on with Hero, and I don't think I want Hero back on this team. I think Secret Whales should fucking bring Hazmet out of retirement. I don't know. I don't even think that would make anything better. Secret Whales YSCam? Well, they can't do that, because YSCam does not speak Vietnamese. Like, Vietnamese teams really like sticking with 5 Vietnamese players, but the problem is that there are... Other than Kiaya, there's not really another Vietnamese top laner who's actually that good, I don't think. Like, Kratos is fine. Kratos is probably better than Pun. You know what? I think we take a risk on Stellar. We'll re-side Stellar and see what happens. Because Stellar only played in like 4 or 5 games last year, and he actually like looked fine in all of them, so... Did you see the mental throw in LGD versus OMG yesterday? I did not. Because it's LGD versus OMG. I wasn't even planning on watching that series. Like, is it like a mega banger throw? Like, is it worth my time to watch? Because that would have been one of the series that I was just going to skip and never see. We could just have YSKM Sivu the entire team. True. I mean, unironically, I think if Secret Whales were going to sign a PCS player as their top laner and then just like deal with the language barrier issues, I think they'd be better off signing Solo Kill. Like, I get the feeling if you sign YSKM to this team, you have way too many cooks in the kitchen. Like, it's so everybody wants too many resources in that team. Unless you want them to play like Aurelia, Kiana, Akali, Kai'Sa team comps. And then just lose every game, you know? WE win Worlds. You know, WE did beat EDG, I'm pretty sure. Hasn't Yao Yao been like not doing well though? I've heard that Yao Yao has looked no better on WE than he did in his past years.
Đai bây giờ hút chiêu cũng được á, cái chiêu anh ta có thể hút chiêu cũng được một tí xíu và anh ta có thể là cái công cụ gây được sự chú ý. Bởi vì nhiệm vụ lớn nhất đến từ bế không thành công rồi. Nhưng mà anh ta vẫn đang dụ được.
Not that I would know. My WE spreadsheet is all gray. I have not seen a single WE highlight yet. Nice. We picked Cassante into Gwen, guys. We will win the game.
Hồi phục là quá lớn. Đó là một pha mà hình như Poon anh ta cũng có một pha tốc biến hơi chật đi ra một chỗ khác và anh ta để một mình Nisto bơ vơ 1v1 cùng với lại một con Gwen. Gwen có quyền trường ác thần tích full số của quyền trường, tích full số của chinh phục.
Rồi bình minh hoàng hôn là không solo được nữa rồi.
Rồi. Khó rồi.
See, but the problem is if I try to tell people that there are no good teams in the LCP again, then
dấy lên một cái vấn đề khá lớn, đó là team Well.
And then Taiwan will just try to cancel me again, you know.
Con quen khu vực đường trên của Florent, nhưng mà bỗng nhiên bây giờ Florent anh ta lại xanh xao hơn, và Pool nãy giờ cũng cảm giác hơi chệch choạc trong những cái tình huống trao đổi chiêu thức 1-1 khi mà những cái thằng khiến Tofo lần 3 của anh ta nó không tìm được cái điểm đến là con quen.
But it's just like I don't know which team to be excited for. I've like every single team is
đây 2 lần thần khí Otofo ở trong cái nhịp fight anh ta đều hụt hết, nó khiến cho cái lượng sát thương
is committing too many crimes right now.
gặp vấn đề là hoàn toàn không. Còn Loden được cắt từ đầu tới cuối, tức là anh ta không bị dính khống chế để anh ta gây đam, và anh ta được gây đam đều mượt.
Like not a single team in this region sets up objectives properly. None of them have good vision control. All of them make random early game mistakes. Half the teams in the region don't do anything proactive early. Is this winnable for Secret Whales?
Những cái pha quy sử dụng không chuẩn xác cho lắm, nhưng thật ra anh ta vẫn còn cái chơi khô máu, nó vẫn sẽ có tác dụng trong những tình huống giao tranh, miễn rằng anh ta vẫn giữ được cho mình cái đầu lạnh.
I think Aphelios has to play really badly in the team fights for Secret Whales to win this game.
Trong giai đoạn này đó là ở phía bên kia cũng đang có một con tướng nó đẩy được cả hai thành viên đâm tay từ xa của Infinity, đó là con quen xương lam bất bại sẽ chỉ lùng kim cấp độ 16 là một cái gì đó rất ác đạn. Nó sẽ khiến cho cả hai người gây sát thương chính như là đi như là Dai sẽ gặp rất nhiều những cái biến số cực kỳ.
But like Gwen is just going to be a permanent problem on side lane. I feel like Secret Whales have no answer for that. And then Aphelios should be able to free scale. Like he's gonna get third and fourth item fairly easily this game, I think. Like Deep Cross should get this next dragon. I think that Gwen will generate enough pressure bot side that they can get the next dragon, and then at that point it's like Deep Cross have all the time in the world to scale up the Aphelios. Like Secret Whales don't really have tools. I don't know how they could get on Aphelios. Like, you have Nico flash ult, but as long as Aphelios has flash and he can flash the flash ult, then he's fine in that regard. And you're not gonna hit Aphelios with like 50 Corky rockets. It's not happening. So I don't know what you can do. Like, in theory, it would be like you could flank with Cassante, but I don't know how Cassante ever gets a flank position when he's this far behind on side lane.
Gặp vấn đề ngay khu vực hang cua, SD bị dính phải những quả cầu được đặt ra rất là gắt gao trên hông xua, và Histo có được con cua, sau đó anh ta nhảy vào, Bob này nhảy ngược lại, Histo ngay lập tức sử dụng chiêu của mình, hông xua đang bước bên trong và Histo đang chạy nhưng mà
okay, Eddie's in there. Holy, that's an Eddie moment if I've ever seen one. Opponent's kidnapping the loot. Yeah, this game is this game was over like 10 minutes in.
Tới lúc mà Histo bỏ chạy thì SD lại thay ca, và SD một mình anh ta không thể nào đọ được trước cái lượng sát thương của Bob Knight cũng như là Hongso. Bỗng nhiên team Secret Well mất 3 người trước thềm con Baron, mà bên phía Deep Cross Gaming thậm chí không cần phải kích hoạt giao tranh, và họ có luôn bồ lợi Baron ở một cái khoảng thời gian rất sớm. Chúng ta sẽ xem lại pha này. Đồng ý rằng là Histo anh ta giữ được con cua
là được rồi.
Cái việc anh ta lao vào đánh liệu rằng có cần thiết hay không?
Tôi nói thẳng là không cần thiết, bởi vì sao?
Like, I guess the idea from his toe isn't terrible. He's like, I can Q3 the Pantheon and then ult all of the Syndra damage. But the problem is that Pantheon just one-shot him. Like, in the Xin Zhao ult, Pantheon just hard won the 1v1, so it's like... Somehow Xin Zhao and Quirky swap position twice? Yeah. I mean... Like, I don't think Eddie can carry this. I would be very surprised.
Trên lệnh về tiền thì họ sẽ dẫn trước ở thế trận. Bob Knight di chuyển ra lấy luôn cho mình con rồng thứ tư, cũng là con rồng thứ hai cho Deep Cross Gaming. Deep Cross Gaming họ đang tích dần những con rồng lửa, và đó sẽ là một cái mối đe dọa mà team Secret Well họ cần phải cẩn thận ở nửa sau của ván đấu. Có trời sập ra muốn đánh bằng Histo, bản nguyên thường Histo đẩy bằng Bob Knight, can trường quay ngược trở lại, quét tan kẻ yếu làm choáng được BE. Deep Cross Gaming họ không đánh thêm và team Secret Well vẫn tạm thời lui về.
Cái chuỗi domino của ván thi đấu này nó bắt đầu từ cái thời điểm cái quả đánh nhau ở khu vực đường dưới giữa Bull Histo và Bob Knight và Bloden. Chính cái quả đó xong là bắt đầu bị suy sụp luôn. Bắt đầu là tất cả những cái công trình cố gắng xây đắp từ đầu đến từ bên phía Secret nó đang đổ vỡ. Nhưng Sosi pha này đã bắt lại.
Okay, Q3 on the Syndra. Maybe it's a valuable catch.
Và ngay lập tức đài giúp cho cho được BE một màn shutdown khổng lồ quá được tung ra.
Okay, Syndra was just pushing up too far with no flash.
Những cánh còn lại Bloden một mình một ngựa và anh ta khống chế được cái trụ thứ hai của trên.
They're still losing their entire base though.
Đồng ý là bên phía team Psychopathic có màn shutdown, nhưng anh chúng có để ý rằng hơi đáng tiếc một chút, người BE là người ăn màn. Cái lượng tiền đó nó không được chuyển hóa một cách cụ thể vào tay những cái vị trí gánh kèo. Nhưng có thể nói rằng đó là một pha hóa lính hắc não khá tốt đến từ BE. Anh ta cải trang thành lính và anh ta trà trộn vào tiếp cận vào người Hongso. Có thể thấy rằng là team Psychopathic cũng có một vài ý tưởng và cũng có một vài động thái.
Alright, Hongso just forgot that minion waves only have 5 minions in them now.
Trên thực tế rằng là Deep Cross Gaming họ vẫn có được 2 cái trụ 2 ở khu vực đường giữa và khu vực đường trên.
Ok, giờ chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu tới những cái giai đoạn then chốt nhất của ván thi đấu, giai đoạn khá là nhạy cảm từ cả hai đội. Khi mà Deep Cross Gaming họ đang tới cái ngưỡng
Well, I guess 6, but yep. Hongso just forgot that 3 melee minions is not the norm. Actually, wait, Nico's probably OP in solo queue now. So nobody will ever remember that minion waves in mid game and late game only spawn 2 melees. Shit, I should try to climb with that. I think I could get so many ults off of that.
Với cái sức tấn công của Deep Cross Gaming còn lại thì sẽ rất khó để cho team Swell có thể làm được gì nếu như mà không có được sự cho phép đến từ DCG.
Hôm nay đồ 3 hướng lên giáp tinh thần. Pantheon quyết định rằng là tôi sẽ lao vào và mở ra tiền đề cho những người đồng đội. Lên giáp tinh thần như này là quyết định là đánh không nhùng rồi đấy. Và Deep Cross Gaming thì họ hoàn toàn có cơ sở để làm điều đó. Chênh lệch là 7.000 tiền so với đối phương. Có thêm cho mình trụ 2 khu vực đường dưới. Bây giờ mục tiêu lớn tạm thời sẽ không có trên bản đồ. Có thể thấy rằng là Deep Cross Gaming họ cũng sẽ không có quá nhiều cơ sở để ép đánh so với team Psychopathic, nhưng họ vẫn có lý do để có thể lui về và đánh thủ ngoài thêm một chút khi mà họ có con xạ thủ Aphelios. Aphelios càng về cuối game, cái lượng sát thương đầu ra nó sẽ càng kinh khủng.
I was really enjoying LCP last year, especially because of Gam and CFO, but this year it's less fun watching. I still think there's enough regions to watch. Like, I think that I want to see how Deep Cross progress and how CFO progress with the year. I think that both teams could become good, and they're just not there yet.
Chắc chắn rồi, 1 phút mấy nữa rồng ra, các thành viên của sẽ cần phải cân nhắc rất kỹ cho câu chuyện là nhịp rồng này như thế nào. Một là đập người luôn, không đập rồng.
And also, there's a lot of people who think that that Gam upgraded their roster. So, like, I'm not one of those people. I think Gam downgraded, but like, there definitely are people who like what Gam did. So. Gam last year enjoyable. I do think that Gam spent a portion of last year being enjoyable. Yeah, there was a point in the year from like split 2 to split 3 regular season where they were a very proactive mid game team. They would get a lot of stuff done, make a lot of good plays.
Và sau đó có cái khổng lồ hóa của Saucy, một pha tưởng chừng là bắt bớ của team Psychopathic, bây giờ hóa ra lại gặp khó. Đại vừa mới di chuyển ra khỏi nhà chưa gì đã mất nửa cây. Bảo Aken được gọi ra để xóa sổ cái đợt lính, nhưng có vẻ như là bên phía Deep Cross Gaming họ không nao núng cho lắm khi mà 30 giây nữa thôi bùa lợi Baron cùng với con rồng tiếp theo sẽ có mặt. Phần Saucy cùng với Hongso vẫn đang nán lại của một đường giữa.
It is a shame though, because I was really hoping Secret Whales would become the future of the VCS. I just like I wish they had picked up Elio. I think getting Elio on this team could have done wonders for them. Like BA's been playing fine, but
bên phía của Deep Cross Gaming họ bắt nhầm vào cái bóng á, tức là chiêu họ tung hết vào cái bóng luôn, họ cứ nghĩ rằng đó là BE, nhưng không. Nhưng bởi vì như tôi đã nói là cái bình minh hoàng hôn cộng kèm với chủ trang bị còn lại của Bloden và các khổng lồ quá bây giờ không cần dùng.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Elio is just a better support than BA, and he was available, so.
Đồ đến từ bên phía của Swell, thứ nhất là bởi vì tiền bạc thì thua đối phương, cái thứ hai là đội hình này muốn lên đồ giảm hồi máu nó cũng là một vấn đề lớn, đồng ý là có bull. Nhưng tôi cảm giác là cái áo này nó không đủ lắm để khiến cho anh chàng Bloden này cảm giác ngại, bởi vì khả năng phục hồi đến từ con quen này là quá lỗi.
Đúng rồi. Thật ra
Love seeing an LCP team at an international this year. I mean, like, we're gonna see them at every international. They get the same amount of slots. 1 for first stand, 2 for MSI, 3 for Worlds.
Khều nhẹ con Baron ép cho team Secret di chuyển ra. Lauren tìm một cái góc có hạt thông nổ đánh bằng thực xa. Trời sập lao vào muốn đánh vào người của Bull. Bull anh ta chơi khô máu. Làm lẹ về. Đánh rất nhanh vào nhưng hạt thông nổ vẫn cứu cho boss này. Lauren tạt cánh rồi bắt đầu sẽ chỉ luồn kim. Kẹt lại ở đây đó là Bull. Bull là người đầu tiên phải nằm xuống. Histo phía bên này mở bán người thương ra nhưng không thể nào đi về. Phong là người có mày.
Yeah, I mean,
bơi vào họ bảo rằng là không cho team Secret về.
Not much to do.
Thôi xong rồi chỉ còn một mình đai mà thôi. Khó cho team
Doing well. Oh, yeah.
Hệ lụy quá nặng ở trong những tình huống xử lý tương đối là lỗi khi họ quá tham vào Uploaden và cái kết thì sao Uploaden không nằm xuống bất cứ một lần nào trong ván.
Yeah, I mean, based on what I've seen, I would definitely say that LCP seems like the 5th strongest region.
Dành cho Deep Cross Gaming và họ đã endgame một cách cực kỳ mượt mà dựa trên một đống dấu tranh mà họ đã quá mạnh mẽ so với đối phương.
Có vẻ như là bước sang tuần thi đấu thứ hai, Deep Cross Gaming họ đã bắt đầu lên tiếng và họ đã có những cái bài đánh nhau nó mang hơi hướng.
Now there's a serious thing I have to consider. There's a very serious thing I have to consider here. Do I really want to watch the Hawks versus Ground Zero? Or do I want to attempt to have some semblance of a normal amount of sleep? Because I've not been enjoying operating on like 2 to 4 hours of sleep every 12 hours. And something tells me that Ground Zero versus Hawks isn't going to be a very worthwhile series to watch anyway. So,
như là vừa rồi Florent anh ta cũng có một cái pha handside shout out juice. Có vẻ như là ta đánh một con quen rất bay và là cũng quyết định shout out người chơi.
Like, I think Ground Zero should 2-0. I would be pretty surprised if the Hawks end up winning the series. But I just like, I don't know. Ground Zero is a very throw-prone team. If that series ends up going 3 games, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Like, you know. I mean, I do feel kind of bad just randomly ditching. Because shockingly, my viewership is actually like good right now. I was expecting LCK to shoot me down to like 40, but I'm at 78 viewers right now, so I'm not really sure where those came from. But I mean, like, the main thing is that LCS starts today. Like, so there's a lot of things that I want to do today because there's a snowstorm heading towards my area that's gonna hit tomorrow. So I want to go to the store and buy a portable charger so that way my phone doesn't die. And then I want to buy some food that I can, I want to buy some more food that I can cook if the power goes out and like I don't have access to my stove or microwave or anything like that. So like I need to go shopping, but then my team also plays their first CWL match this week. So I need to be awake for that. And then after that, it's my first LCS Co-Stream. So it's like, I have a lot of things to do when I wake up. And not much time, you know? The schedule just happens to be kind of cramped today. What are the LCP matches tomorrow? Vikings versus CFO, that's a banger, and then DFM versus GAM is not a banger. Dude, honestly, I think that just like all the matches with the LJL teams seem kind of underwhelming. But yeah, I mean, like, the thing is that it's like I can go to sleep if I want to, because like, okay, if I log in these games, deep cross, secret whales, like, according to my LCP agreement, I only have to co-stream 70% of the games,
rằng ở trong trận đấu này thì Discord Gaming là
Um,
có khả năng phối hợp tốt hơn. Trong khi đó thì Team Secret
So if I
Wales
miss
là
2 or 3 games, I'm still well over that
chia
threshold.
sẻ là họ bị tập trung nhiều vào một mục tiêu quá, hoặc tập trung
I think I should just wait for this Hawks DFM Fiesta match. Actually, that does sound kind of fun. I'm down to watch that. Like that sounds kind of silly. But
lúc nãy tôi có nhắc qua, hãy cùng với chúng tôi xem lại một lần nữa để xem rằng Discord Gaming họ đã có những cái pha xử lý chuẩn chỉ như thế nào về mặt.
yeah, I think I should probably try to go to sleep. Why is Japanese League that bad? The reason why Japanese League is not great right now is because they don't have.
SD nằm xuống không còn sát thương DPS nữa, đơn giản thôi. Discord Gaming họ tràn lên.
I'm trying to think.
Florent quá xanh rồi. Sau một tình huống mà solo kill thành công vào người của Pool, sau một tình huống mà anh ta được ganh thì thực sự là anh ta quá xanh ở thời điểm này. Và
are there like any roles that the Japanese players are good at?
Giao tranh nào họ cũng để thua.
Because originally I was gonna say that they have like a lacking top lane and a lacking bot side, but I feel like their mid laners are always imports anyway.
Đặc biệt là chiêu cuối của Syndra và những cái tài nguyên khác nữa như Phelios hay là
Like Japan has always been a region that plays 3 domestic players and then like 2 Korean imports is kind of what their meta's been. And when I'm thinking back on it, I feel like their best international performers were usually the Koreans. Like when Arya was on DFM and stuff. And like they had good players. Like Udapon was pretty solid and Evie was solid. But Udapon is retired and I think that Evie's starting to fall off a bit. So I'm trying to think of like who I actually consider to be decent Japanese players now, and I guess the only player that really comes to mind is like Marble. I think that Marble's a fine player.
Và ngoài ra là Secret Wales chính thức là số vị trí top 3 rồi. Chúng ta hơi đáng tiếc khi họ không thể nào mà dẫn đầu được ở trong cuộc đua LCP 2026 giai đoạn 1. Nhưng mà đừng quên, giải đấu này còn dài và dù sao thì Secret Wales họ
Who even are the other? Hold on.
Có một vị huấn luyện viên mới. Thế nên tôi tin rằng họ sẽ cần phải có thời gian.
Có lẽ là họ cần nhiều hơn thời gian để có thể chuẩn bị bài vở của mình, cũng như là siết lại về mặt phối hợp đội hình để có thể quay trở lại một cách mạnh mẽ hơn. Bởi vì dù sao thì Team Secret Wales họ vẫn chỉ mới bắt đầu mùa giải của mình thôi, họ còn có rất là nhiều những cái đối thủ lớn khác đang chờ đợi họ.
Wait, this SoftBank Hawks roster is like so cheating, by the way. This is crazy. Look, their roster has 3 Koreans on it, but it's fine because Arya counts as Asia Pacific residency, so he's not an import. That's so crazy. I didn't even realize. I was like trying to think. I was like, who is the 3rd Japanese player on the Hawks? And so I double checked it. They don't have a 3rd Japanese player. They're just running 3 Koreans. All right. Well. Same with Gang. Yeah, both LJL rosters are literally just cheating. The Japanese players are like so far behind the rest of the regions that both Japanese rosters are doing their best to field as little domestic talent as possible. Isn't Team Liquid doing the same thing with Core? I mean, like, sure. But Core, like... Core's been around since, like, 2018 or something. Like, it's been a while for him. But like Arya literally went back to the LCK at one point. Like if we go to his tournament results, he went to KT temporarily. Yeah, 2022 he was on KT. So it's not like he was fully committed to LJL the entire time. Like he was still trying to get back into the LCK, you know? But yeah, I mean, out of the 5 domestic Japanese residents, I think that Marble is decent and Momo maybe could be good. It depends. But like everybody else, I think that they're all definitely like below the level of the rest of the players in this region. So just makes it hard to field LJL rosters. Alright, well, I only slept 2 hours, and I don't want to watch the next series, so I am going to call it quits for today and go to bed. Thanks everybody for watching the first series. Sorry I couldn't do it all. But I will be back in 12 hours to do LCS. We've got banger LCS matches today, by the way. Like, I feel like I'm not going to say that very often, but the first series is Cloud9 versus TL, and those are two teams that are supposed to be top 3. And like both teams are trying to win the entire league, so definitely worth watching. All right. Yep, sorry about short stream. I'm out of here. Goodbye.